And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I'm not sure where to start. First of all, we got the Epstein files. Oh yeah, that's a topic of conversation. Some say this is a really big thing. Some don't even know who Jeffrey Epstein is. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, we got the Philly trash strike finally coming to an end. The union didn't really get what they wanted, although they got a little bit of a raise. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, there's riots in Mexico over American expats driving the cost of living up, doing things that they think they shouldn't do. That's pretty interesting because when I said something about it, I was a racist. I was a bad guy. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, no more shoes being taken off at TSA, finally, because, hey, check it out. The airport floor has got to be top 10 dirtiest floors to ever exist. I mean, whatever you think the bathroom floor is like, it's nothing compared to the actual floor of the airport. You got all of humanity coming in from all over the world with whatever on the bottom of their shoes. So I'm glad we get to keep the shoes on for free rather than paying TSA pre-check for the privilege. We'll talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for rocking and rolling. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. I feel better. The cold is pretty much gone. So shout out to me. Shout out to y'all for rocking and rolling with me on the last time when I was coughing and hawking and whatnot. But yeah, I feel much better. And if you like what you're hearing, if you enjoy the content, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Tony Davis says, what about emergency room floors? Well, you know what? That's actually a pretty good question. I would trust emergency room floors or in general hospital floors more than I trust airport floors, because especially if you're on a carpeted surface, they can only clean it so much. If you have like a smooth, like a vinyl or marble or some kind of smooth surface where you could pour cleaner on it and really get down into it, I'll trust that over the airport floor, especially when it's carpeted, because of all the people. It's a consistent foot traffic. If you have an incident on the emergency room floor, you dump some of your strongest chemicals, clean it up, get it up out of there. They're consistently making sure the floors are as clean as possible. But in the airport, hey man, you get whatever you get. You get whatever you get, man. And these airports open 24 hours. People be living in there. Remember when they had the height of the migrant crisis all over the country? You had migrants living in airports. What was that? Boston Logan Airport, Chicago O'Hare. Human beings living on the ground, which is crazy. I mean, for you to live on the airport floor, you got to be a different kind of dedicated. I tell you what, I'm not going to place my body on the ground at all. Okay, if I got to, listen, I would never be one of these guys that sits on the ground in the airport. I'll stand up for 10 hours if I got to. I'm not going to sit on the actual floor of the airport. The seat, okay, maybe. You could kind of clean that a little bit, but the ground, no way. HP Benin says, nah, ABL, you've never been in the ER here in New York City. You know, right? I haven't. You're right about that. I have not been to a New York City ER, so maybe I think differently. But you know where I have been is Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Now, I've seen so many people do some crazy things. And look, I've flown quite a bit, and I noticed how people behave. When I was out traveling during COVID, right when COVID popped in March 2015, not 2015, pardon me, 2020, March 2020, when COVID popped, I was out traveling. I noticed how many people were at the hand washing stations getting busy, washing their hands. It's like, Where were y'all at for your whole life? Are you just now washing your hands for the first time? So normally when you hit the bathroom, you just handle your business, flush your toilet, and then walk away. Is that what's going on? See, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I say the airport is off the hook. Off the hook. Because also, when you in an international hub like that, you're getting international habits. And some people, I'm not going to name no names. But some people, when they walk past, it's a little bit tart. All right. It's a little bit tart. So your hygiene habits, I don't know what's going on with your hygiene habits. I don't know what's on the bottom of your shoe. I don't know what's happening. But that's the reason why I say airport floors are off the hook. So yeah, I'm glad I get to keep my shoes on. Now, some people said, well, you had that in TSA pre-check. I never had TSA pre-check, clear, none of that. I just go, I travel a certain way to where it doesn't even really matter. Let me just go on the line for a few minutes and get to where I got to go. I can go to Hartsfield Jackson if I got a flight at 6:15 and they close the door at 5:45. If I get there at 5:15, I'm good money. I can get to the checkpoint, through the checkpoint, and to my gate within about 20 to 25 minutes. Easy. But I don't go on the red eye flights, 5 o'clock in the morning. You would never see ABL in the airport at 5 a.m. unless I done got stranded. Somebody didn't kidnap me and I'm trying to get my way home. Maybe I'm in an action movie. I'm trying to find some kidnapped little kid or something like this. Beyond that, I'm not going to do it. So I'm glad there's no more shoes coming off in the TSA line. That's a win for me. Now, what they need to do, can I say this or something right here? I know we got little kids watching, but I got to say it because some of y'all are thinking it. What they need to do is fix the little enhanced screening they be doing. All this jazz right here on your front part. Yeah, I don't want no dude dragging his knuckles all on my front region like that. You understand what I'm saying? If we could just stop that from happening, then we're good to go. And I feel like it's agent to agent because some of y'all agents understand what's going on. You're not really trying to be all on my area like that. It's just a machine doing this thing. So y'all give me the little quick, okay, you good. But some of y'all be on this, getting in this stance and going like that all on my stuff. It's like, bro, really? We don't even got to do this, okay? We don't have to do this. I'm not trying to bomb the plane. Just let me, get past this little area and we can have that be that. You don't got to do all this in my front area, all right? So that's the next step right there. So Kristi Noem, if you're listening to me, we got the first thing, okay? We got the shoes, they stay on. Okay, cool. Now the next thing is, can I stop getting felt on by these male agents in the TSA line using the back of their knuckles? Let's have that be the next domino to drop. Am I asking for too much? Y'all let me know. The knuckle shuffle. Hold on. What was that? Live with ZWI says the knuckle shuffle. That's crazy. But yeah, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, y'all know what to do. Please give the video the thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Tessa Jetta says they gave me a special test on the palms of my hands for gunpowder. Yeah, I've had that before. I've had they test my hands. It's like gunpowder. Like, why does it matter if I got gunpowder residue on my hand? How is that going to impact the plane? You should look for bombs, like specific things. And look, HP Panini. Now if I ask a female, now I look weird. Now I want the girl to massage behind. Like, I don't want nobody to be touching on my front part, whether they be male or female. And now I'm a creep. It's like, yeah, all right, girl, yeah, bring a girl over here and have her kneel down and touch my front part. I don't want that. How about nobody touch my no area? That's what I'm calling for right now. If I have to go before a Congress and testify, I will. That's what we're going to do. But yeah, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. I think that topic right there of TSA has more interest than Jeffrey Epstein. Can I say that without being offended? Without anyone being offended at me, without being offensive? Can I say that? that people care more about TSA and traveling and how easy it is and how much TSA pre-check costs than Jeffrey Epstein? Can I say that? I don't want nobody to get offended. I don't want nobody to think that it's me that's saying that. I'm just saying this is what the people say. Don't get mad at me. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just a messenger. That's all I am. All I'm doing is passing a note. Okay, here go a note. I'm going to get it to you right in your hands. That's it. That's all I'm doing. Don't get mad at me for passing you the note. Don't shoot me or the note. Just take the note for what it is and do what you will. Do what you will. Yeah. I don't want TSA to touch my no area. That's all. I think that's a reasonable ask. Okay? That's a reasonable ask. All I want to do is just go through the line, get to my gate, and get to where I got to go. Very simple. Okay. Rex Rocker says, last flight, my girlfriend gorged 9 out of 10. Congrats, bro. Congrats, Rex Rocker, for having 9 out of 10. But anyway, Rex Rocker says, last flight, my girlfriend gorged 9 out of 10. They decided to frisk her. I walked through like it was nothing. See, my question is, why are they frisking her? What's going on? They picking and choosing. So now I'm good on that. Yeah, we good on that. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. We talking about the Epstein files. We're talking about, and before we go any further, before we get to the Epstein files, we'll get to that a little bit later. But I want to ask y'all, do you care about the Epstein files? I'm not gonna do a poll. I don't want to put that kind of pressure on you, but I want to hear from y'all. Do you care about the Epstein files? Because I'm not sensing a whole lot of interest around the topic aside from certain people. And I'm not trying to poison the well by me saying that. I'm just being honest. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys think that I'm incorrect about that. I want to hear from y'all. Do you think the Epstein files are very important? Yay or nay? And what would you put it on as far as the level of importance? Very important? Not very important? Somewhere in between? Y'all give me some feedback here. Okay, so I'm reading. No, yes. Yes, I care. No, HP says I care. Mickey says no. Yes, nope. Yes, no, nope. Okay, hold on. You can't bring it up, then drop it. Well, I understand. Carrie being lied to. Yeah, there. Okay. Observer says I care about the lies, not Epstein. I care about PDF files getting punished. Well, he did get punished, but I guess you're talking about others who may have been on the list. Now, but they say it ain't no list, but then they said it was a list. Then they said, well, it wasn't the list I had on my desk. It was the files I had on my desk. And I think that it could have been a list, but it wound up not being. I don't know. The lies, yeah, I think that's probably one of the main things. What's this? GMS South Carolina says, oh, now y'all don't care. I don't think it was as big of a deal as some thought that it was. I'm not saying it's unimportant. I'm not saying it has no relevance. I'm just saying it's not as big as some would think. Some think that this is enough to derail support for the president. I don't think so. I don't think it's like that, because there's more important things. Like me personally, I did not vote for Trump for the Epstein file situation at all. I told y'all throughout the entire time, and I'm going to stand on that forever. My biggest concern was a migrant crisis. And we got ICE raids jumping like Destiny's Child, jumping like Jumping Beans, jumping like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, jumping like LeBron James, all over the place. And I'm loving it. The left don't like it, talking about you're kidnapping them, you're putting them in concentration camps. And that's a funny thing, too. A concentration camp. Since when was a detention center a concentration camp? Are they in there working? Or are they in there just pretty much chilling? Like, how are you going to have a concentration camp with no work element? Like, make that make sense. If you really want to see bad conditions, look at jails and prisons all over the United States with American citizens in them. There was a story in Georgia where there were so many bed bugs in the prison. One of the prisoners got eaten to death by the bed bugs. Eaten to death. He died. He literally died from the bug infestation in a jail. I don't think it was a penitentiary. I think it might have been a jail in Georgia. This might have been a year or two ago. Not like ancient history. This was fairly recently. But that, no big deal. Don't nobody care about that, right? But when the migrants get a brand new facility built for them, and there might have been a problem with some plumbing in one of them, and the AC might have been bad, and some mosquitoes or crane flies got in, probably crane flies, then all of a sudden it's a concentration camp and it's inhumane. Please spare me the nonsense. Please spare me. It's Americans living at home, not in prison, not in jail, in worse conditions than that. We got homeless veterans on the street subject to worse conditions than alligator Alcatraz. So let me get this straight. You got homeless veterans, no criminal record, on the street, subject to worse conditions than illegal aliens breaking the law. Many of them criminals before they broke the law, coming here illegally. And I got to feel some kind of way sad or anything for the illegal aliens. Who cares? You know who I feel sorry for? The veteran on the ground with nothing to, with no work, PTSD, not really right mentally because of what he went through to fight for this country. I feel bad for that guy, not the illegal alien. So, you know, the left keep fighting this. They keep making this be a thing that people are supposed to be sympathetic against. I mean, personally, me, I don't care. I think it's a great thing that we got alligator Alcatraz. I think it's a great thing we got illegal aliens being deported, period. America First says it's a great deterrent to not go to jail. Exactly. It's a great deterrent. If you were to tell me, like if I was a criminal, which I'm not, but if I was a criminal and you say, hey, check it out. If you commit this crime, you're going to go to this place in the middle of the Everglades where they got these big mosquitoes looking like dinosaurs. You got alligators, crocodiles, all kind of extra flies you're not ready for, mosquitoes biting you in your hind parts. It's going to be hot, cold, ain't going to be no mosquito nets. If you're going to tell me that, I'll be like, okay, maybe I'll rethink what I'm doing because I don't want to go to a place like that, which again is still better than many places where American citizens go for ticky-tack little stuff, traffic tickets and stuff like that. Okay, you get sent to a worse place for traffic tickets as an American citizen than you get sent if you broke into the country illegally and you're not even a citizen. But I got to feel bad for the illegal aliens and not for the Americans living their regular everyday life. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Retro AI says, amen, ABL, support our troops. Least we can do for them, on my word. Absolutely. Peter's Warhead says, yeah, got bitten in the hotel in Ontario. Nasty bite. Scared me a bit. Found the bug too. Yeah, man. That's what you don't want to do. That's like the worst feeling ever. You in the hotel room. You know, sometimes, okay, I'll go to a place and then I'm in the hotel. I'm like, I'm having second thoughts about this place because I'm looking at certain things, little stains on the wall. But like, you know what? Never mind. Don't even worry about it. I'm not getting in that bed because I ain't trying to get bit by whatever's inside the actual bed. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Summer Sky says, they don't even stay in alligator Alcatraz. They go there, then they get processed, and they get flown out the country. Exactly. They just there for a brief period of time, like a week, less than a week, couple days. Yeah, that's all. And it solves a problem of them being in the country for a long time. You just send them right there for a little bit, process them, and they go about their way. They get a free plane ride back to wherever they want to go. And y'all know how the migrants do. They could do whatever they want. They get a free plane ride. The migrants get treated so well. It's like they Diamond Medallion members. They call them on the front. Diamond Medallion members, please come to row 1. You're boarding now. Diamond Medallion, boarding now. Migrants. Look, but before they call people that need wheelchairs, military, Diamond Medallion, they're going to call them migrants. Okay? All migrants, please come aboard. Mr. Iziari, please come to the front and confirm your seat on this flight to Guadalajara. That's how they do. So why should I feel bad for them? They all right. They straight. Free plane ride back to the crib. Accommodations for a couple of days in the meantime. And that's it. Zephyr says we're a free travel agency. Pretty much. Yeah, we're USA Airways. USA connections. That's pretty much what we are, for free, no profit. Well, we pay for it. The taxpayer pays for it. So there's that. But I'd rather pay for that than to pay for all their health care and the cost of car insurance because they can't drive on the road. I'd rather pay for a flight back to their country than to pay for all the things we got to pay for them when they're here illegally. Like they said before, the study came out and said we spent $450 billion with a B on illegal aliens every year that they were here. $450 billion, but yet I'm told that they are a net benefit for us because of the jobs they do. Well, we're paying them a lot of money to do those jobs, actually. They're getting paid quite a bit of money. All that an American would get paid is an hourly wage. They're getting paid a lower hourly wage, but they're getting subsidized by the government. They're getting the cars that don't run out. They can drive a car with no license. They can pretty much do whatever they want to do. And we, Americans, regardless of whether you black, white, Puerto Rican, the Canyon stripe, Americans got to foot the bill. And we're told it's because we're lazy. But anyway, before I keep on rocking, shout out to you guys for watching. You guys are the best audience. Yes, in the streets, 450 billion with a B. That's what it was found that we spent on the migrants every year, not just total, yearly. So just like in 2023, we spent that much on them. Look at some of the hot spots like New York City, the Roosevelt Hotel. I'm going to show that in a minute. This iconic hotel got run to the ground within, a year or two? Because of all the migrants. They come in not understanding Western standards. They taking showers with the shower curtain outside the actual tub. So, of course, the water was getting on the ground and it was flooding the rooms beneath, damaging the ceiling and stuff like this, damaging the infrastructure that's in between rooms. Okay, they're using these crock pots and air fryers, overloading the circuits in the rooms because everybody cooks in their room, overloading the circuits. So they're constantly doing electrical and plumbing and drywall, everything. They did so much damage to the structure of the building. Plus they in there drinking and drugging, prostitution going on. They doing all that stuff in this hotel to the point where within a year or two, it was a shell of its former self. And now it's closed down permanently. An iconic hotel ruined. And that's just one way in which the migrants come into the country and they damage things that we have as Americans. But anyway, I'm getting triggered. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And before we continue, y'all know how I do. Shout out to you guys for watching. You guys are the first sponsor, but also shout out to my other sponsors. Shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information. Anywhere on these interwebs, their link will be in the description. Or just visit patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, please go to the regular website, the merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, please go to the regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. You'll be able to find articles for each video that I produce. And in each article, we got sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the politically agnostic, Democratic, Republican, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Also, please go to the contact page, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my snail mail address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. Yes, I am on TikTok. I am 100 trillion years old on TikTok, but I'm on there. All my links are right there on the contact page, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. And as I always say, if you're ever wondering if you're conversing with me on the interwebs or not, you're probably not, especially if it's a get-rich-quick scheme or something weird like that. Please don't get scammed. If you get in the 5,000-digit WhatsApp number, you get in the weird Gmail account talking about money or foreign exchange. It's not me. Please don't get scammed. I don't want to get an email from you guys ever again, because I have gotten emails talking about, I thought I could trust you. You scammed me, ABL. It wasn't me. I promise it wasn't me. It was that dude over there in Lagos, Nigeria, or somebody looking like Kristaps Porzingis or Boban Marjanovic or somebody that get 18 vowels and no consonants, or the other way around on their last name. You understand? It's not me. So please, please, please don't get scammed by somebody over there. All righty. But again, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. Again, you guys are the best. The last four on my social. 911. And I don't got no fourth one. Just dial that and then tell them your plan and they'll give you the last one. How about that? Yeah, call them and tell them your plan and say, I need one more number. Can you get it to me? And I'm sure they will give it to you. Matter of fact, give them your home address and tell them to come deliver the number to you, and they'll do it that way. But shout out to y'all again. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. Now listen, shout out to the New Yorkers. Hey, I like how when you see some of these protests, you're able to see who lives there for real. And you're able to see who is, hold on. I like how you're able to see who lives there for real. And you're able to see who does not. All right. And you could tell that those who don't live there are the protesters, and they're being flown all around the country. And there's probably some money behind them. It's probably big money behind them. The regular New Yorkers don't like it. All right. So let's watch some of this, shall we? And RIP in advance to the headphone users.
To kill Jews! You're chanting to kill Jews like myself! What is wrong with you, you anti-Semitic freaks?
You guys don't talk now? What do the police have to do with it? Oh, now you guys speak! Fuck you all! Yeah, shut it down! Free Palestine!
Listen, if I'm going to New York, which I don't plan on going to New York anytime soon, if you're living in New York, shout out to you guys. You guys are fantastic. I appreciate y'all for watching. But I don't want to have to do with this. I'm good. Don't even worry about it. If I'm ever in a situation, I'm on edge, man. One of y'all touch me, you getting, man. Hey, let's keep on going. I don't want to say nothing to incriminate myself. Yeah, these people, man, these protesters, whatever they call themselves, these paid people, these losers, I hate them. I really do. Everybody hates them. Nobody likes these people. And they walk around, they're just an annoyance. You can't see their face. They're trying to like block you, passive aggressive. I feel bad for you guys that got to deal with them. If you see these people on a consistent basis and they're like in your path, if you got to walk amongst these humans, I feel bad for y'all. Say it's New York. I can't do it. I cannot. So shout out to the New Yorkers who have to deal with this. It couldn't be me. There's more here. Yeah, people like that, man, they're the worst. And it's like a virus that spreads and infects people, because a lot of what you see on social media, a lot of what you see with people out here demonstrating, they infect people. It's to the point now where a lot of this stuff that was kind of seen as fringe has impacted regular people. You go places now, you're seeing full-grown men, 6 foot tall, with a wedding dress on like it's nothing. Chest hair, taco meat everywhere. It's like, when did that become acceptable? When did that become all right? It's because people like this out there normalizing it and spreading it to regular people who would not have adopted that ideology without them going out there doing it. That's why it's important to have a counter movement, a counter kind of argument to what they got going on. That's why it's very important, because without anybody countering them, you probably would see a lot more of these wedding dress with taco meat all over the place. It'd be normalized. Now, this was crazy. Again, we're back in New York City, and we have a protester, quote unquote, screaming at officers who have Islamic sounding last names. Okay. Now, this is really crazy, and I got something to say about it. Let's just watch it first, shall we?
Leave the badges of the pigs.
Leave the badges of the pigs.
So to the Rahmans and the Muhammads.
To the Rahmans and the Muhammads.
To the Alis and the Abdullahs.
To the Alis and the Abdullahs.
To the Rafids.
To the Rafids.
To the Rafids.
To the Rafids.
To the pigs.
To the pigs.
Who can call themselves by the name of Islam.
Who can call themselves by the name of Islam.
To the Muhammads.
To the Muhammads.
Put some respect on that name.
Put some respect on that name.
Put some respect on that name.
Let's pause. Now listen. This person is lucky to be in the USA, because if they were doing all this bad talking, crazy talking, wrong talking to men in the street over in Afghanistan somewhere, look, they would have stoned her ASAP. They would have stoned her right to death in the street and nobody would care. I'm not saying that should happen. I'm just saying that would happen. But over here in the States, you got freedom to act a fool. You got freedom to express yourself that way without having your life taken away, without the person that you're doing it to being held accountable. Overseas, in the Islamic utopia, ain't no such thing. Ain't no, you want to be LGBT? All right, well, check this out. I got a tall building for that. You want to be a crazy woman out here, wrong talking men all in their face? Man, you're going to get 100 lashes, a stone. You're going to get a stone fiesta. So rather than doing all that yelling and hollering, she should say, God bless America. She should say, God bless America, because that's why she's able to do what she does. And I tell you what, when it comes down to it, if you ask her, hey, where do you want to be? Do you want to be in the USA or do you want to be over there? She's going to say, I want to be right here in America. I ain't going nowhere. I want my Starbucks in the morning. I want my comfy AC control environment. I want my bottles of water. I ain't trying to live rough in Afghanistan. I can't even really wash my hind parts right in the sand in the desert. I don't want to be over there. I want to be right over here. So, hey, appreciate where you at rather than hating on it every day. That's just my humble opinion. Now, here we go to the media talking about the so-called concentration camp. Listen, if you have a concentration camp with no work element, it's like a hostel, basically. You just stay there for a couple of days and then you get a free flight to somewhere. That's not anywhere near an actual concentration camp. But because these talking heads with the Party City wigs on will say it over and over again, regular normies begin to believe it. I did a video about Ricky Smiley talking about Black Americans are going to be deported. It's like, bro, a Black American, I'm gonna get deported. Where am I going? To my grandma's house, West Virginia. Where am I go? In a van down by the river. Where am I going? I'm not going nowhere. I'm born here in the country. I'm a citizen. You can't take that away. But people who watch television, they think that the things they say actually make sense. They think the things they say are gonna come true, and they're not. Let's just watch this, shall we?
normalizing a government agency disappearing people. We are normalizing, we're talking about it like it's no big deal that they are kidnapping people and transporting them to concentration camps, both domestic and foreign. I think
that's kind of insulting.
And we saw the El Salvador situation. My man was living the life, playing PlayStation and playing with parrots, and he was on he was out there doing pretty much whatever he wanted to do. TV, he might have had Netflix in there. I did not see a concentration camp. I saw a summer camp. Really, I saw pretty nice living conditions. And he was fat. He didn't lose no weight. Listen, when you're looking at Nazi Germany and you see the camps that they had the Jews in and other prisoners of war, whatever you want to call them, they were so gaunt because it was no food for them. Food run out, they're gaunt. They're losing weight. Kilmar's in there looking fat. He looking like Big Pun when he first started losing weight. Or Fat Joe, whoever that was. You're looking like one of them. Still got nice little belly going on. It's because you're eating well behind bars.
I think it's insulting what they're doing. It is not insulting to Jewish Holocaust. I find it insulting that you could even fix your mouth to defend this disgusting behavior.
It's not a death camp.
It doesn't matter. It's a concentration camp what they're doing, and they are disappearing people, claiming that these are people who have committed the most harsh crimes. But according to the reporting, less than 10% of these people have committed harsh crimes. So to do the victim Olympics and decide who had it worse, I can tell you, I can participate in that too. And everybody who says, "Oh, this is not the America I know," I can guarantee you it is the America. Can I finish my point, please? Yes. We are the fact that we're presenting this like it's political fodder, that a government agency is disappearing people. It is not a political point. It has nothing to do with Jewish people, because despite the fact that 20% of immigrants in this country are white, we do not see white people getting carted off to concentration camps. So if we can just focus on the most...
Anybody going to no camp, and then, okay, who do you see being quote unquote carted off? Do you see all the people? Do you see everybody, or do you see a few clips that y'all want to put out there for public consumption, meaning mainstream media? You guys are going to pick all the Hispanics. You guys are going to craft a narrative, and then you buy into the narrative and then repeat it, although that's just your narrative. If 20% of the migrants are white, what does that mean? Are they Hispanic at all? How many of the migrants are Hispanic who came in here illegally? Give me some actual numbers. How many came in illegally from this country, that country, that country? Give us actual numbers. You're just kind of talking at this moment. So yeah, Tiffany Cross, she's not really back. She's just kind of doing her punditry work on the television. But ain't gonna be no more TV show with Tiffany Cross on it. Anybody trying to watch that? Okay. You know who could get a TV show before Tiffany Cross? Remember, hey, we got Tiffany Cross, quote unquote, back. Who else we got back? We got Big Mama, Stacey Abrams. I don't know why they thought she had a chance politically. How you gonna run an anti-gun campaign in Georgia, trying to become the governor? Even black Democrats in Atlanta said, nope, we need our guns, because look, I'm not trying to fall victim to these water boys out here, to these guys breaking in people's cars, breaking in people's houses, acting the fool. Somebody want to come start tripping, I'm going to exercise my Second Amendment right. If you want to run a campaign against that, then why would I vote for you? But they're still trying to bring her out there. Let's hear from her, shall we?
You send the U.S. Marines into spaces they should not be. You send the National Guard in. You kidnap people off of the streets and pretend that's normal, because that's how you quiet dissent, because you make everyone afraid that if they don't do what you want, they might be next. And once you've done those 9 steps, step 10 is easy. That's when you decide there won't be new elections, because everyone's either afraid, poor, broken, or complicit.
So the conspiracy theories are crazy. I've heard that more than once. Ricky Smiley was talking about, oh, there ain't gonna be no more elections. No more elections. Like, how did you even get to that particular point in your mind? This is just fear mongering from them as usual. It's the same old playbook. And my thing is, you know what? If you're a football coach, right, and you've been running the same play for the past 10 years and it's not really worked, you're not really convincing the American people, you might want to switch it up. You might want to switch it up. You keep getting beat on that play, so why you keep running the same play? The fear mongering and stuff like that, it doesn't work anymore. We don't really believe it. So how about running a real campaign, a true campaign based on truth, rather than trying to scare people? And something else though, man, when you look like that, physically look like that, whatever you say, it doesn't really ring true. It's hard for me to really connect to what you're saying as the truth when you have that kind of appearance. People could say I'm being superficial, I'm being mean or whatever, but y'all know I'm not lying. Y'all know I'm not lying. So for her to try to become some kind of political figure, it's like Chris Christie. When you see him, it's like, come on, you? Anyway, let's keep rocking and rolling. There's one more from her. And pardon the lighting, I don't know what's going on with that, but let's watch.
Just happened in Texas. The fact that they slashed the National Weather Service, whether or not that was the direct proximate cause of those deaths, the fact that we're having that conversation is the issue. The fact that we aren't sure is the problem. And so we need to hold to what we deserve. We should not be dissuaded, especially as Black women, as women of color, as people of color. We should not be convinced that we don't have power. They are mad at us for a reason. There are enough of us that we can change the outcome of elections, but also change the outcome of power. Just happened.
Okay, so that was crazy. So you mentioned the cuts to National Weather Service from the Trump administration, and you say, well, I don't know if that had anything to do with the Texas floods, but I'm going to say it anyway. Matter of fact, the fact that I had to say it at all is a problem. What? If you don't know whether it contributed to what happened in Texas, why would you say it at all? That's called being irresponsible. Furthermore, the cuts talking about hadn't even gone into effect. Also, you're talking about, what did they say? Like 26 feet in 45 minutes, the river rose. 26 feet, the Guadalupe River rose in 45 minutes. 30 feet in under an hour, ultimately. 30 feet in under an hour. What kind of money would have stopped that from happening? What kind of funding would have prevented that? Listen, you got flash floods. It just happened. You could be on, like I said, I told y'all before, I'm on the road driving. I'm on I-75 North. I'm right by Calhoun, Georgia. I'm right by the Buc-ee's, which was a godsend because me being that close to the Buc-ee's, I was able to get off and then just seek shelter there. Yeah, I'm in a sedan. I'm driving. It's raining a little bit. And then all of a sudden, it's raining real hard. I can't see anything. And it feels like water is starting to come in through the bottom of the door. On the interstate, driving I-75, I get off, and other guys were doing the exact same thing, just trying to hide from the storm up under the gas pumps. It was crazy. What are you going to do about that? Is there some kind of funding that could have happened to not have that scenario take place? I mean, most they're going to say is that it might rain, isolated thunderstorms, but they might not be able to predict that it's going to be a flash flood right there. They might not be able to predict that it's going to be a 28-foot storm surge in an hour. They might not be able to predict that. So what are you going to do? I'm in your hood N Square. Shout out to the Buc-ee's out there, Calhoun, Georgia. Hey, one of my favorite spots in this world, Buc-ee's. I'd have been to the one in Calhoun, Warner Robins, Richmond, Kentucky. Is that all? Was it one more I've been to? I've not been to the one in Crossville yet, but I love them every time I go. Up and down 75. That's my stop that I go to for sure. Kai's Proximus says ABL, NWS, National Weather Service, is under NOAA. They still have everything they need. So what are we even talking about? Again, if there was any cuts that hadn't gone into effect yet, and all the agencies that need what they need have what they need. This reminds me of the whole thing with the air traffic control. Remember? Because there were some cuts to the FAA, and then there was a crash that happened in Canada, and they said, oh, it's because of the cuts to the FAA. They cut air traffic control. Well, if you're flying into Canada, it wouldn't be us that's serving you to land you. It'd be their service, not ours. But when we made cuts to the FAA, it was not anything to do with air traffic control. Just because air traffic control is under the FAA and there were cuts made to the FAA does not mean we cut air traffic control. But that's what the media does. They misrepresent things like that to make you believe a thing that's not true all the time. And then normies are going to be scared. Oh, are they going to take this? Are they going to take that? They're scared because they don't know any better. But here's the reality of what's happening. NASDAQ closing at an all-time high on today. Okay, so the monies are coming in. And I told y'all, a lot of people told y'all that when the market dipped, go ahead and buy it because it's going to come right back up. And you see that it did.
Stocks ending the day in the green. The NASDAQ composite hitting an all-time high. The index surpassing its prior intraday high from July 3rd. Stocks ending the day in the green. The NASDAQ composite hitting an all-time high. The index surpassing its prior intraday high from July 3rd.
There we go. So yeah, shout out to the stock market. And the people were kind of like panicking. Oh my goodness, the stock market is down. What are we going to do? I told everybody, buy the dip. Buy it right now. The prices are low. It's going to go back up. And once it goes back up, you did make some money. So there you have it. Oh, we got some more good news. We got jobs for American workers going through the roof. Through the roof. Let's watch this, shall we? All right. And this is what I voted for. It is what I voted for because the migrant crisis was negatively impacting American workers. Actual American citizens. It was negatively impacting us. Now that we got the migrants up out of here, we're starting to do the ICE raids. We're starting to get more jobs for Americans. Imagine that. Imagine that.
President Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration seems to be showing up in the jobs data. It's a point that the White House is making. Here's what they said about the latest jobs report. It shows that American-born workers have accounted for all of the job gains since President Trump took office, and wages continue to rise. So here are the numbers that they're talking about. Foreign-born employment has fallen by 543,000 since January, when President Trump took office. Native-born or U.S.-born jobs have increased by more than 2 million since the month Trump started his second term.
There we go. And that is what I'm talking about. That's the positive impact of cracking down on illegal immigration. Because all illegal immigration did, all that the wave that happened under Biden did was an attempt to lower prices because the migrants would come in and work for cheaper. That's the bottom line. They would work for cheaper. Oh, they're so great. They work for cheaper. Oh, they work really hard in construction. Okay, D.R. Horton homes. Yeah, you getting a sheet of cardboard with bad plumbing, all kind of stuff. You're getting some ridiculous quality to quantities places. Yeah, they got workers work for no money, but look at the quality you get. Look at the quality you get. So now that we are free from a lot of these illegal aliens, we could get Americans back in the workforce. Imagine that. Imagine that. When we get illegal aliens up off of taxpayer benefits, then we can get more jobs, more help for ourselves. That's the objective. Now, here's a good video. So Zoran wants to raise minimum wage in New York City to $30 an hour. So what my man right here did is go to a store in New York and ask the man in there, the IKE or whatever you call them, hey, would this be a good idea to raise minimum wage so high? And how would that impact your prices in your store? Check it out.
We're going to take a look at how Mamdani's policies will lower grocery prices. Если, например, minimum wage будет от $16 пойти, $30, что будет становиться цена?
Да все пойдет кверху, люди не смогут покупать даже.
Огурец стоит сейчас $3 паунд.
Будет $6 стоить. Дабл все поднимется. Сколько поднимется зарплата, столько поднимется товар.
We're going to take...
So look, if you didn't hear that, if you didn't understand that, he's like, look, if you're raising the cost of labor that much, the prices will go up by that same rate. So if you're doubling the labor, okay, well, that cucumber, $3 pound or whatever, now it's going to be $6. Whatever it is, double the price. They're telling you right there, and my man ain't speaking no English. He's just telling you basic economics. Listen, 1 + 1 is 2 in every language in the world. He's telling you right there what's going to happen. Zoran coming in like Bernie Sanders, Santa Claus. I'll promise you this. I'll promise you that. I'll give you everything you want, but not telling you what the side effects of that going to be. What's the point in having a higher wage working if you got to pay double the price for everything? And if you don't have a job, now it's even worse because you have zero income and everything is doubled. Okay, bad enough you have income and everything is doubled, but if you have zero income and everything's doubled, now it's worse. So the poorest of us will suffer the most. If you got a lot of money, you just, you pretty much Scrooge McDuck. You got money flying everywhere. It don't really matter. People like Zoran, for him, it don't really matter if he's got to pay more money a little bit. It don't really matter, but to regular people who don't have that kind of money, it matters. Exactly, N Square. Math is universal. Thank you for subscribing, Kathy. I appreciate you. Thank you for rocking out with us. But yeah, math is math. 1 + 1 is 2, regardless of what language you speak, regardless of where you come from. Okay. Now, speaking about math, this woman says her home price has skyrocketed. Her home value has skyrocketed over the years. And if you're getting into the market right now, she's like, how are you going to afford this? Okay, let's watch.
It's not sustainable. We bought our house in 2011 for $192,000. The current Zillow estimate is $683,000. It's 1,000 square feet. No updates. It's not sustainable. We bought our house in 2011 for $192,000. The current Zillow estimate is $683,000. It's 1,000 square feet. No updates.
So, first of all, that's a humble flex. You got a nice big increase in your home valuation. So shout out to you. Hopefully your taxes are not going to go up through the roof at the same time. But that's what is going on right now. You got a very inflated market, but I think we're going to see some deflation because people are trying to sell their homes. In some markets, they might be able to sell them pretty quickly, but in others, maybe not so much. So what's going to happen is you got to lower that price down. So it's going to be a little bit deflationary. That's kind of what we're experiencing right now is a deflationary period, although some of these prices ain't really going to go down. So yeah, congrats to y'all for being able to get your home for the low and getting a really good valuation out of it. That's great. If you want to sell it, you can make a lot of money, but you probably don't want to do that right now because if you sell it, where are you going to live? Probably in a spot that costs the exact same as what you're going to sell your house for. So yeah, it is what it is. Can't buy, can't sell. You kind of stuck. The only way for the market to go is down. It really won't go up more than it is right now, in my humble opinion, depending upon where you live. And that's something else that the migrants did. You see, the migrants also caused a housing shortage because when you bring in 20 million people and there's not enough homes for them, because the thought of the Democrats was all we want is the cheap labor. We want to bring a little bit of slave labor to ease inflation. Okay. Well, who's going to pay for all these people, for their health care, for their schooling? You got all these different languages and they're going to public school. The teacher can't do nothing. The teacher got a class with 30 kids in it. Half of the kids don't speak any English at all. And it's not all just Spanish. You got Mandarin Chinese. You got Tagalog. You got all kind of stuff, random languages. No, click languages like, I don't speak that. What are you going to do? All that right there is going to cost money. Money. It's going to drain a lot of these smaller towns, especially dry. So, yeah, they did not think the whole thing of bringing the migrants in very thoroughly. All they thought was we want cheap labor. Okay, but who's going to pay for all the things that they're going to need when they're not working? They don't really care. All right, now, this is an interesting claim. So I'm going to read this caption. An American working in the prison system is exposing that illegal migrants have been getting priority over American citizens for open heart surgery. She was present when an illegal detainee got priority for the surgery, and the cost was over $200,000 to you and I, the taxpayer. Let's watch.
This video might not reach a lot of people, and that's okay, but I wanted to make this video because I lost a lot of followers due to the fact that I voted for Trump, and that's okay. I really don't care. But at the end of the day, I wanted to share something with you guys. I was working for an agency, and I'm not going to say what agency this was or, you know, what my affiliation is or whatever the case is, but I was in the operating room with an illegal immigrant from Pakistan. It was me and my partner, and I remember the doctor turning over to me and asking me, you know, do you know how much this is costing the U.S. government? This surgery, he was getting open heart surgery. They had his chest pried open with these metal things, and I was standing above his head, and I could literally touch this detainee's heart. He looked at me and said, this detainee, before we administered the anesthesia, before we put him to sleep, he was saying that if indeed he died, to remember that he hated America. When this doctor looked at me and asked me how much this surgery was costing the U.S. government, I said how much. He was like, it's costing over $200,000. This person is an illegal immigrant, and U.S. citizens have to be on a wait list. Some of them just waiting to die. And that to me was the turnaround point where I never been really political or anything like that, but I knew that there had to be a change, and that's why I casted my vote for Trump.
That is crazy. That is crazy. You get in a free open heart surgery that costs $200,000. Yo, I hate America. I hate America. That's what they're gonna say. I mean, this is just I can't even really believe it. I'm stunned to even hear that, but then again, I'm not stunned. I can't really be surprised anymore. If I was a lot younger and I didn't really know what I know, I'd be like, but now it's just like, this is what we're talking about. You hate America so much. Okay, how about this? How about no surgery and you go back to where you came from? That is crazy. How did he get priority? Illegal alien. Depending upon where you live, depending upon what they prioritize, that's how it happens. I covered the story, or at least reported the fact, that in California, they have no immigration requirement or immigration status concern when you applying for Medi-Cal. Okay, their Medicaid or Medicare program, whatever it is. 1 million illegal aliens on Medi-Cal in California. 1 million. Paid for by you, the taxpayer. Crazy. Totally crazy. You don't believe it, Roy Benson? Hey, you know, some may not believe this story, but at this point, I've heard so many things like that. I've seen so many things like that reported by reputable sources. To me, it's just like, yeah, that makes sense. That's about right. That's pretty much what it is. For sure. Okay. All right. Oh, and the Roosevelt Hotel. Now, I was speaking about this earlier, okay? The iconic Roosevelt Hotel right there, Manhattan. You can see the ball drop on New Year's Eve. All of that is going on right there. The migrants had that as some kind of intake center. They were living in there. They were popping babies out of there. I think at one point at its height, 3 to 4 children were being born at the hotel every week. Anchor babies. Anchor baby mill right there. Prostitution, guns, drugs, all of that. And like I said earlier, they're coming from a lot of third world places where they don't do things how Americans do it. So when they're using the bathrooms and taking showers, they're not putting the curtain inside the tub to keep the water inside. So of course the water is coming outside the tub, flooding the floors, damaging the infrastructure. They plug it in pressure cookers, pardon me. They plug it in pressure cookers. They plug it in hot pots, and they overloading the electrical. They destroyed this place in a very short period of time, and now it's closed.
The iconic Roosevelt Hotel has officially closed. No longer are migrants coming into New York City, therefore they don't need this shelter. Inside this shelter, 155,000 illegal immigrants were put up in this shelter from 150 different countries. Every night, we paid over $200 to house people inside this hotel for around 3.5 years. You add that up, that is a lot of money that we've spent funding these illegal immigrants who came into America illegally. If we, as a normal citizen, wanted to walk through those doors while migrants were living in here, we were told we could not come in here. Here, nurses worked 12-hour shifts, long hours. There were lawyers here to protect the people that wanted to claim asylum or perhaps wanted to get a job here inside New York City. They had their own lawyers, their own interpreters, their own caseworkers, even their own nurses, because many people came into America pregnant. Many people came into America with diabetes, cancer, AIDS, all sorts of illnesses. People came here, wanted to get help, and they got free help that we paid for. Also, there was a major processing center here inside this Roosevelt Hotel just down there, where National Guard have been on the scene for the past 3.5 years, checking migrants in as they came in. Also, a scary thing about this hotel is that Trinidad gang members lived inside this hotel, ruled these corners, and we allowed it to happen. It was actually kept as a secret. Not too many people talked about this shelter, but this shelter has housed over 155,000 illegal immigrants over the past 3.5 years, and it is officially closed. That is what we voted for. All
right, there you go. So, yeah, I mean, that whole thing was a mess, what they were doing with the illegal aliens in that particular location at the Roosevelt Hotel in New York City. I mean, they spent so much money, and for what? Gang members, it was all kind of stuff going on at that hotel. And then when Eric Adams come out and said, well, this is really hurting us, we can't sustain this, they call them all types of racists and everything else. It's crazy. It's totally crazy. Now, here's Karen Bass talking about suing the Trump administration for immigration enforcement, okay? Because ICE came down to Los Angeles. They're doing the raids. Karen Bass wants to sue Trump for that. Do y'all think she'll be successful? Will she win? Let's watch.
Just finished working with our city attorney to file a lawsuit because we have to stop this mess. You know, the idea of having troops go through the park and disrupt the children's summer camp or drive through the streets and just pick people off the streets. We don't know if a kidnapping is happening or what. And so our city attorney is leading the way. We're filing a lawsuit. We're calling for an injunction for this to stop. We need to remember who we are as a country. I'm very clear as to who we are as a city, and I'm clear about my job, which is to make sure that this city is safe for all Angelenos, regardless of when you came here, what country you came from, or why. We got to stop it. And I know, you know what? We're going to stand strong because this city is united. We are not divided, and we're not going to let anybody divide us. Just finished working with...
All right, there we go. So I guess, hey, it don't really matter. You come from anywhere in the world. You are an Angeleno in Los Angeles, and it's totally fine. I don't know about y'all, but if I'm living in LA, I would be kind of upset about that for sure. I'm an American citizen, and then somebody who just came here yesterday illegally is now on the same level as me. Now, this is MacArthur Park. There's going to be an ICE raid right there, and the Karen Bass was trying to defend this area from the raid. Okay, I'm going to turn this sound down. It's just like some TikTok music or whatever. But you can see the caption says, it's crazy how MacArthur Park is no longer a landmark where people used to come from another country and take the famous picture on the lake. Sadly, now it's the zombies park. So people out there fentanyled up, methamphetamine up, just pretty much Walking Dead out there. This is MacArthur Park, Los Angeles, not far from the downtown area. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Look, when I go back to LA, I'm not going nowhere near this location. I'm going to stay on the beach. That's it. I'm going to stay on the beach and the parts of the city that are not infected by fentanyl and every other kind of drug in the world. Yeah, if I see somebody doing the Fetty lean. They fold it up like an accordion. Okay, what they call that, the Fetty fold. If I see somebody doing the Fetty fold in a sketchy looking area, I'm going to go the other direction. Obviously, I'm not in the right place. So this particular park was where Karen Bass was trying to protect Trump, or she was trying to protect the people from Trump and the ICE raids. I say, yo, clean all that up. Get the migrants up out of there and the dope fiends. Get a twofer. That'd be great. Now, speaking about getting migrants out of Los Angeles, look at the traffic. For you guys living in LA, y'all know how bad the traffic is. I've heard the stories of, look, it could be any time of the day or night. It's going to be bad. This, according to the guy, is 8 a.m. Monday. Do you believe it? Let's hear from him.
I don't know if anybody's familiar with Los Angeles, but I'm actually on the 110, literally about 5 miles from downtown. Where the fuck are the cars? I almost felt like it was a Sunday. Where the hell? Holy shit. Look at this. You know what, Trump? It's working, brother. Please keep working. Work harder this time. I mean, I know you've been working pretty damn hard. And we love you for it, by the way. But good God. There's no more traffic in Los Angeles. Yay!
So do y'all believe it? Do y'all think that's really, what is it, the 101? I don't know about all these routes. Y'all got everything is by a number. But do y'all think this is a particular route that he said, 8 a.m. on the Monday with pretty much no cars on it? I mean, hey, maybe when you get the illegal aliens up off the road, you can have some decent traffic. And you know what else I noticed? Atlanta. Y'all know I'll be down there a lot. The traffic has definitely improved. It's improved. I've noticed it. It was very noticeable right when Trump came in office, especially. Yep, because he came in saying, hey, we're going to do these raids. We're doing the ICE raid. So if you're here illegally, self-deport. Right when he came in, the traffic plummeted. So I'm like, let's just do a little bit of simple guesstimation, a little bit of deductive reasoning. Maybe the traffic is down in all these different cities because the migrants are being deported or the migrants don't want to be out because they could be deported. Just maybe. The yay at the end. Yeah. My man's excited. He's excited to, kind of get life back to some kind of normal. He is 100% excited. Okay, now speaking about somebody being excited, we got a little song here, okay? I don't know this man's name. Shout out to him. But we got a song. Let's hear his song and see what he got to say.
There's bigger horrors than poltergeists, like children in cages, an army called Icewell. They won't take me, I was made in America. They'll take your huddled masses, you're tired, you're poor. We'll put them to work, then show them the door, 'cause I won't pick fruit, I was made in America. But aliens, they don't scare me none. I'll cut you in on a secret, you're technically one. Well, your pearly white skin wasn't made in America. And corporations love your misplaced rage. They'd rather buy politicians than pay you a wage. A small price to pay to keep jobs in America. Your flag was made in Taiwan.
All right, there we go. So what do y'all think? Y'all think Timu Jet Black is onto something? Do y'all think it's going to be a hit on the radio with that song? What do y'all think? Hey, check it out, bro. Pearly white skin where? I never get confused with being a white guy. Nobody ever came to me and said, hey, are you white? I've never gotten that before in my life. I'm an American just like you, so you say. I'm an American. I want the best for America. I don't care about what your skin color is. You could be a green space alien. It's like, bro, all right, you could be a space alien and that's fine, but were you born here or not? If not, then what are we talking about? Are you here legally? If not, then what are we talking about? I don't care. That's it, man. legal, illegal. That's pretty much where I'm at. The skin color argument is so old. It's so prior to Barack Obama that it doesn't even matter anymore. Who cares? Nobody but the left who say that they are not the racist ones. So was it a good song? Was it good vocals? Y'all let me know. Jack Fat, that's funny. Okay, Wacky Jack Black, yeah. That's the Bizarro World Jack Black. That's the alternate universe Jack Black. Belly roll, y'all are funny. You guys are the funniest people in the world, I promise you. Okay, we got somebody else, and I know some of y'all be a little thirsty. Y'all, hey man, before I show this person, just here goes some water. Just take that and get yourself nice and quenched, and then I'm gonna show the young lady right here. Alrighty, let's go ahead and watch and listen.
Shame on me, you guys. No, really, like shame on me. It's my bad. I really thought that the overwhelming amount of comments on a video saying I'm not celebrating 4th of July would be like, duh, of course we're not. What do you mean? Like, I genuinely thought there might be 20% of people who were mad that I made a comment about not celebrating 4th of July, which, by the way, I didn't say it mean to her. I said it with a smile. I said, like, I was just being snarky for the video. I said, I'm not celebrating. And she was like, oh, okay, well, have a good weekend. And I was like, you too. And that was it. So God forbid I make a video. But shame on me for thinking that most people, regardless of who you voted for, let's just say it. If you voted for Trump, I really thought that by now, where things are going right now, how things are right now, you guys would be like, I can't believe I voted for him. I'm gonna be sick to my stomach. This is so embarrassing. This is awful. This is sick. But I was wrong. I was wrong. This is why I said I'm not celebrating when somebody said happy 4th of July. Because number one, I'm sure she was just trying to be nice, but I was really shocked by her saying that. But now I'm even more shocked of all these comments I'm getting on this.
Okay, so there we go. First of all, that was a lot because you got the bird in the background. Listen, see, that's part of the reason why I wouldn't want to get a bird, because you're not going to be doing all that smoke detector beeping in my video when I'm trying to talk. Ain't nobody got time for that. All right, listen, if I had a bird and it was doing that, I'm going to set that bird free. I'd be like, look, all right, I'm going to open the cage and let you out. Now, you got to know how to fight out here in these mean suburban streets, because I got some birds that be on my house. They a little bit crazy, so you got to fight them if you want to do all this yapping and yipping and whatnot. But people don't really care. It's like, all right, man, look, you don't want to celebrate 4th of July. You don't want to celebrate Independence Day. Anybody really going to spaz out? See, it's the left that does all the spazzing out. They're the ones that spaz out. We don't really do that too much. I'll do a video like this, and I'm like, okay, do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. It's fine. It's fine. Like, it ain't really no big deal. Now, I personally will celebrate 4th of July. I celebrate this country. I love this country. If you don't, what I'm going to say is you can go somewhere else to where you might feel more welcome. And I know you ain't going to go nowhere. You ain't taking that bird nowhere. Okay, you can be right here in Podokville, USA, where you live at, and that's it. That's going to be that. So, yeah, shout out to the bird. Hey, the bird. How are you going to buy a living smoke detector beep? That's crazy. That's totally nuts. All right. Now, here's somebody on EBT. The caption, I'm not quite sure if I believe it, but at this point, again, I've seen so much. It doesn't really take much to... It's easy to believe, put it to you this way. And what I'm talking about is this woman says she's married and has 9 kids, or it's a family of 9. So either she's married and got 7 kids, or she's married and has 9 kids. Either way it goes, it's a lot of people. So let's see what she does with her EBT over at Sam's Club, shall we?
Come shopping with me at Sam's Club as a recently unemployed wife to a family of 9 using EBT. Anyway, we've officially made it through 1 month of summer break, and man, did it deplete literally everything we had in the house last. Despite my best efforts to keep a budget, I absolutely failed. I went over by more than $100 at Sam's, and I'm sure I'll pay for that later.
They always get fruits and vegetables when they're recording themselves, knowing full well they're not going to eat none of that. When you see the young lady right here, I ain't trying to be funny, but let's be serious. I mean, come on now. That ain't no pineapples and grapes right there, but I digress.
But I didn't really have a choice in my defense because these kids depleted every single thing we had in the fridge, pantry, and freezer. Anyway, this is nothing new. It happens every single year during summer break, so I'm not even surprised in the slightest. I would also like to state here, this is not a complaint, but I digress. Anyway, my daughter decided that she wanted to play that little game where you go up and down the aisle and you point to something, and when the person says stop, whatever you land on is what you buy. She cheated. She wanted hot chips, so she changed it at the very last second. But whatever, I let her get what she wanted. And last but certainly not least, thank you to Sam's Club for giving us this pizza and this ice cream for free. We appreciate it. Okay, that's all. Bye.
Okie dokie. So look, check it out. You know, a good way to save on groceries in this situation is don't buy so much stuff that the kids cannot eat the food if it ain't there. They're going to eat everything that's right there because they don't have any kind of food discipline. It's like overfeeding the dog. ABL, you compared them to dogs. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You put a bunch of food in the bowl, the dog going to eat it. Cats, dogs, pardon me. When you see obese pets, you already know what time it is. Pets like dogs and cats aren't obese in the wild. You have never in your life seen a wild animal that's obese. And the only way you can see that is if it's being fed by humans and just happens to live outside. That's the only way. Normally, they're not going to be obese like that. When they're fed by humans and they're kept in a sedentary lifestyle, they have the tendency to be obese, just like human beings themselves. Okay, so yeah, my suggestion to anybody, if you're having a problem with food, you're running through it, your kids keep eating it, and all of y'all are like 300 pounds easy, just don't buy so much food. Buy about 30% less food, and they're not going to really notice, for real. And if they do notice, you got a problem. Okay, you most certainly got a problem. Now, this woman here says, why are you hating on me or hating on anybody who doesn't really want to work? I mean, what's going on? Because when I go try to find a job on Indeed.com, it's like slavery. I see slavery when I see jobs. That's what she says, okay? Let's hear from her, shall we?
And y'all need to stop calling people lazy because they don't want to get a job. People are just tired of being slaves. When I go on Indeed, you know what I see? Plantations. Ain't nobody finna be doing all that work for that little bit of money they be trying to give people. And it does not take a full hour to make $20. And y'all need to stop calling people lazy because they don't want to get a job.
An hour to make $20? I mean, listen, when I started my first job, I made $6.25 an hour. And that same job, when I ended it after 5 years, when I was in high school, college, I made $8 an hour. $20? That's a lot of money if I'm getting into work, depending upon where I live, depending upon what I got going on. And if I think that's not enough money, then I got to improve my skills. When I was working for $6.50 an hour, $6.25 an hour, $8 an hour, I never one time thought I gotta try to fight for 15. I gotta make them give me $30 an hour. I knew that I was doing the thing that would not give me a high amount of money. I knew that I was doing the thing that was not going to be a career. It's a job for high school, college kids at best. So I got to improve my skills to make more money. And I got to do that consistently to keep leveling my lifestyle up. That's what that is. So if you are finding jobs that don't pay you what you think you should get paid, you got to improve your skills. Because my question is, what are you on Indeed.com trying to find for $20 an hour? What, work from home, customer service, It might not pay that much, especially now where you get AI that can do your job for you for a fraction of the cost or for free. You got to figure out a way to get better skills if you want to get more money. And if you don't want to improve your skills, then how are you going to get more money? I don't understand. Improve your skills, figure something else out, and then you'll be able to move forward that way. Now, shout out to my main man, James Klug. You guys subscribe to him on the YouTube channel, KLU, with the umlauts on the U, G, KLUG. You guys are funny. I'm reading some of your comments. But she had an issue with Trump bringing in the 59 South Africans, but not with the 20 million illegal aliens that Biden brought in. Of course, right? Let's watch this. Shout out to her with the Gambit X-Men coat, the original. I'm hating on that, but I digress.
You mean like Trump imported the South, Africans, the white Nazi South Africans, and they paid
what was
a bunch
the evidence
of money?
that they were Nazis? Weren't they all waving American flags and stuff?
Oh, come on.
You have a problem with that? What was it, like 150 people?
Yeah.
Over the last 4 years, there was about 10
I
million
have
illegal
a
crossings
real
at our southern border.
problem with him importing white people when everything that's of color he's getting rid of.
What about the last 4 years? There was over 10 million illegals that entered the country illegally. Are you cool with that?
You're going back to that again?
Well, you're focusing on 150 people or so, and I'm asking you if you're cool with the 10 plus million that came in over the last 4 years.
I don't care about the 10 plus millions. You mean like Trump imported?
So 59 people compared to a bare minimum 20 million people. So what's the deal? And of course, out of that 20 million, there were quite a few whites who came in illegally as well. I'm sure there are many more whites who came in illegally under Biden than Trump let in with the South Africans. What was the number? Like 20% of the 20 million are white? Isn't that what they said earlier? So I'm no mathematician, but isn't that 4 million people? Is my math right? Is 20% of 20 million, 4 million? Y'all fact check me on that. But yeah, shout out to her. Shout out to everybody that feels the same way. It's kind of weird. Weird white. I love it. White fatigue. Y'all are funny. Okay. Now, this is Cambridge University's graduation. That's over there, UK, right? Let's just watch. I don't even got to tell you too much. Let's just watch and see what they do in their graduation. Again, this is Cambridge University.
Free Palestine!
So everybody got their Free Palestine, everybody got their terrorist scarf, all that kind of stuff all over the world. And see, these kids are being influenced. These kids are being influenced with what they see on social media. They on TikTok heavy. They're watching what they see in the streets with these so-called protesters, and they're influencing them. Without that, then they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. Okay? They wouldn't be doing what they're doing. And my question is, I'll let it play a little bit. My question is, what will happen with our future? These people, hold on.
Is complicit in genocide. Free Palestine.
Everybody want that attention. Everybody want to go viral. Everybody want to. What are we going to do with these people? What are we going to do with these highly educated people? These are going to be the leaders of the nations. These are going to be people that push us forward, or they're the ones that should push us forward. But this is what we got going on. How are we going to survive? What's going to happen? Okay. Hold on. Are we having an argument about the math in the comments? Is 20% of 20 million 4 million? Did I get that wrong? Somebody said it's 25. I think I'm right. If I'm wrong, y'all let me know. But yeah, shout out to them out there again at Cambridge. Now, we got the issue with the floods happening. I got a question for y'all. Here's something else. Do y'all think the flooding that happened in Texas, I think there's one, there was a big storm in Chicago. There was flooding in New Mexico. Do you think these recent floods are a result of weather modification? Some of y'all think that. I'm not quite sure I believe that. I'm not quite sure I'm really into that conspiracy theory, if that's the correct term to use. But this guy is from Rainmaker, and they do cloud seeding to literally make rain. That's what they do. Let's hear from him.
People can listen to longer form interviews that you have done about some of the safety and research that you've done on what you use to cloud seed. Now, I want you to please address a larger question, which is one that is somewhat broad and perhaps even religious. But are you playing God? Are you messing with things that you shouldn't be messing with when it comes to the weather?
I get this question all the time, and I totally think it makes sense to ask it. My intention is to serve God. I think that in Genesis 1:26 through 28, and then throughout the Psalms and the rest of the Bible, God tells us to take dominion over and steward creation, both for our sake, creation's itself, and then to honor him. And so if there are droughts and we have the tools to mitigate the damage done by them for our sake and for nature itself, then we should deploy those for the sake of tending to and stewarding the world. And if we weren't to do that, if we were to ban cloud seeding wholesale, despite knowing that it's safe, despite knowing it could help alleviate these problems, we'd be abdicating our God-given responsibility to be stewards of the world.
Okay, let's address what people can...
Let's pause. Now, I'm not quite sure I'm sold on the whole cloud seeding thing being safe, because my thought process is if you modify weather, you're messing with the balance of the weather in total. You can't just impact the weather in one place without there being an impact in other places. It's all symbiotic. So if you're messing with the weather, that could cause problems with the weather in other ways. You see, like maybe there's a natural cycle the earth has to go through, and when you want to interfere, you're going to destabilize the natural cycle the earth goes through, therefore creating adverse weather events. What do y'all think? Am I right about that? With my theory, is it off? Is there no evidence for that? Is cloud seeding messing with the weather to create rain? Is that safe? Is it okay? Y'all let me know. But my thought process is whenever you mess with the weather, you're going to create side effects. It's just not going to be something that happens and that's going to be the end of it. That's not really how I think it works. Okay. Now, here's Bill Nye, the chemical engineer guy, talking about the Texas floods. And you know what he says? He's like, look, well, you know what this is? It's climate change. And if we don't give Greta Thunberg and Al Gore and me some money, then we're going to keep on having these weather events. Okay. He ain't say all that, but that's pretty much what I hear whenever I hear the term climate change. All I hear is, give me some money. Whenever I hear climate change, I hear Voldemort Zelensky, can I please have some money? That's what I hear. All right, let's watch.
You can't just float your way out of it.
Yeah.
It knocks everything over. Everybody knows you pick up a bucket of water, you know how heavy it is. Mm-hmm. And you get a lot of water going that fast. So what are we going to do about it is the ancient question, and it would be to stop burning fossil fuels. When you're in a hole, stop digging, and so on. But the fossil fuel industry has been very successful in getting organizations like the U.S. Congress to think that it's really not happening.
Well, and the first 6 months of the Trump administration, we've seen an end to some of the federal efforts on not just fossil fuel, but other efforts that had been in place government-wide to promote alternative energy.
Yes, you can't just.
So that's what we're going to talk about when we talk about the flooding, the fossil fuel industry. That's what we're going to do. I mean, look, you cannot let a good tragedy go to waste. If there's ever a time to promote your false ideology, when you got a bunch of dead kids and whatnot in Texas, just do it right now. That's probably the best time, right? These people are ghouls. It's really crazy. It's like, bro, we get the idea you want to push climate change, but right now might not be the best time to push that. I'm just saying. Okay, now this, hold on. If I can show it, y'all give me a second here. This is going to be the flooding in Texas. And then I'm going to show, well, here's some of the flooding and also some of the rescue, because there were several camps right there by the river. And there was one that really got a lot of attention, which was Camp Mystic, a bunch of girls at a camp. Unfortunately, a lot of them were swept away. The death toll still rise, and it's like over 100 right now, last I checked. But there was a lot of rescues, quite a few rescues. My man Scott Ruskin rescued quite a few people on his own. But let's watch this, some of the flooding and the rescue of a lot of the girls from the camp. Hold on. Dirt Speed said Trump was elected and global climate change got worse. It only took 6 months. Exactly. All of a sudden, Orange Man coming back and the sky is falling. That's pretty much what's going on right there. All right. Now, this is going to be in New Mexico. So there's a river out there, the Rio Ruidoso. It rose from 18 inches to more than 20 feet in under an hour. So would that be called storm surge? I guess so. It's similar to what happens like when we get storms on the East Coast, where you get water that goes way above sea level. But the river rose 20 feet in an hour. And when that water is going and the debris is going, there's no stopping it. There's no stopping that debris. If you're right there in the way of the debris, you will be swept away. You see all of that in there right there. That's a bunch of trees, a bunch of things that were just knocked off of wherever they were and brought into the water. If there's an obstacle and it kind of pauses, now you got pressure that builds up and the water will just keep going until whatever the obstacle is gone. Okay, that's kind of how that goes. And that happens very quickly. As you can see, all of that was pretty much dry. And now you got an ocean right there, a lake right there. Those trees right there, they're going to come down next. So yeah, look, you can see how it was pretty much kind of dry. There's some water right there, but not all of this water. There's some semblance of banks. But once that water comes in, all the banks, all of that just go away. Now it's just kind of one big mass. And it'll overtake the banks as well as you get more water to come in. Yeah, living in a coastal place like that, I've seen a lot of flooding. Seen quite a bit of flooding. And there's always flood-prone areas. So the whole thing about, oh, well, this is a brand new thing that never happens. These areas are kind of flood-prone. If you have a river, it can do that. Like downtown Chattanooga, talk about that again. Once you go downtown, you could walk on the river and you could see how they got it built up. They got some concrete that has steps, and you could tell where water has come very high up above the steps. Like, because they already know it could rise up really high or go down really low. Every year, exactly. But since we got to worry about climate change because we got Orange Man back, now they want to say, well, this is a brand new thing that happens. So now, okay, give Greta Thunberg $1 million and maybe she'll fix it. Okay, here's Scott Ruskin saving 165 people in a very short period of time on the ground out there in Texas. Let's hear from him. And of course, he is a Coast Guard swimmer. Just got out the academy. First mission, saves quite a few people. Check it out.
Joins us now. Scott, thank you for joining us this morning. Tell us what happened.
Hey, yeah, good morning, everyone. So I'll kind of give you guys a quick synopsis of what was going on. The Coast Guard launched us and decided to send a rescue crew from Air Station Corpus Christi at about 6:30, 7 a.m. on Friday, the 4th of July. I just happened to be on the duty crew with Ian Hopper, Blair Roosevelt, Seth Reeves, some of our crew members in the Coast Guard. And they sent us out. We kind of encountered some pretty serious weather, some of the worst flying we've ever dealt with personally. It took us, which should have been an hour flight, probably took us about 7 or 8 just to get into the landing zone. Once made about 4 different approaches trying to get in, we were able to get boots on the ground with the Air National Guard, Department of Public Safety for Texas, game wardens. And we decided to leave me on scene at Camp Mystic. That was kind of our main triage site we were trying to help out with. And we decided, hey, if we leave the rescue swimmer on scene, we'll have more space in our Dolphin MH-65. So based on that, I got on scene, boots on the ground at Camp Mystic. Kind of discovered I was the only person there as far as like first responders go. So yeah, I had about 200 kids mostly, all scared, terrified, cold, having probably the worst day of their life, and I just kind of need to triage them, get them to a higher level of care, and get them off the flood zone with a lot of the US 60 Army helicopters.
Talk about how that works. You got 165, close to 200 kids there. How do you get them out? Just one by one?
Yeah, sir, it's a great question. So the United States Army National Guard was landing their 60s with Task Force 1, some of their rescue swimmers, and they were able to land. We kind of came up with 2 different landing zones. There was one off an archery field and then one at a soccer field. So yeah, we were able to kind of land those 60s in there. And then I was kind of the main guy as far as like grabbing people, usually like 15 to 10 kids at a time, maybe one adult with them, and bringing them over to those 60s and getting them to a different LZ that was kind of safe and had more first responders than just myself out there.
Had you ever?
Right on. So shout out to my man, Scott Ruskin. There's more to that, but shout out to him. He saved quite a few people out there on the ground in Texas during the disaster. All right. So, hey, that's that toxic white male masculinity. Shout out to him. All right. We need more of that in society. We sure do. Now, I got to show you guys this right here because this is a pretty interesting clip that just came across my desk. There was a white woman who said some pretty bad things about those in the Texas flood, some really racist things. But of course, she had a white boyfriend the whole time. Can't make this stuff up. Similar to what we always see. Okay. People like, what's that? Like AOC, people like this. White man's dangerous, white man this, white man that. Meantime, white boyfriend. Let's watch some of this.
Your partner, who is a white male, has publicly disavowed your comments. How do you reconcile your partner who's supposed to have your back? You got the whole public, you got the whole country, the entire seem like the world coming down on you right now, and instead of your husband saying, oh, not your husband, but your partner saying, I got your back, quietly, I don't know about that, shot, but publicly, hey, I got your back. Instead of him saying that, he decides that, I'm going to publicly disavow what she said. And have y'all had a comment? Well, I'm sure y'all had a conversation about that. What was that conversation like?
Well, he has a boss too. He has people he has to answer to as well. And
so hold on. What I heard. Okay, let's not do that. That was random. But what I heard right there was, we'll do together. It's not a big deal. I hate the white man except for my boyfriend. I hate the white man except for my husband. Hold on. Can we go back to that? There was one more piece I wanted to show.
The situation with Unitarian Universalists, right? These are supposed to be the good white folks, right? But as you can see, once that white supremacist ire is faced on them, they gonna back down as well. They can't really handle it like that. Meanwhile, black churches get bomb threats and get shot up and stuff all the time. So
Yes, her boyfriend is white. So let's just set the stage clear, a little bit of context. So she made some very offensive comments about the Texas flood victims, talking about they're white and this and that, you know, the typical racist stuff. Whole time, her current boyfriend right now is white, and he disavowed her publicly. Now, apparently they're still together, talking about, oh, well, he got a boss too. So she's defending the white boyfriend for disavowing her when she attacked the flood victims in Texas for being white. You can set your watch. It'd be atomically set to this. I'm radical in the streets, but not in the sheets.
It basically comes down to he has a boss too, and the people at the top did not like the comments or whatever. They really didn't like the cunt comments, and I'll get to that.
Okay, that's quite a bit. That's quite a bit too much. I don't want to be playing no cussing and stuff like this. You know, we got little kids watching. But there you go. There you go. So when you see people who are racist like that on the internet, you already know what's going on. When I see somebody like that, I already know what time it is. I already know what it is. You see a black woman talking about, I hate white people. They love them. They don't hate the white man. They love the white man, but they can't interact with them the way they want to. So then they just lash out like that. That's just my humble opinion. Or they do interact with them, but they got that chip on their shoulder still. It's weird. It's so weird. People are weird. Now, the Philly trash, I guess, strike has come to an end. They reached a deal. They're not super happy about the deal is not the best for the union. I'll talk about that in a minute. But the trash,
look at this,
all over the place. Hold on, can I go full screen? There we go. Let's do this.
Look at this.
So what they did was set up zones in certain areas where you could put your trash in the meantime. Because of the strike, they weren't collecting trash. They're like, all right, rather than just having it all over the place, just bring it to certain locations. And what happened was you not only got residents dumping the trash, but contractors, people from far away that don't live anywhere near here who are not impacted by the situation. Okay. So trash for as far as the eye can see.
I'm telling you guys, you can barely breathe.
Yeah, you don't want to see that. You don't want to hear that. Yeah, okay. You don't want to hear my man, but you see how much trash is out there. And that video was after about 4 to 5 days. It wasn't even the full. I think they got the 9 days. And people live close to these areas. Like I saw one video where it was like right in front of somebody's house. Like it was an apartment building. You get an AC unit right there in the window. How you gonna have a window AC unit with trash right outside? So because window AC is bringing air from the outside in. So all of that, the fumes from the trash is going to be all in your house. Trying to cook food, do anything in there is going to be it's going to be a no-go. It is going to be a no-go for you. But yeah, shout out to my man for stomaching it for a little while at least. But again, the strike is over. Let's watch some of that a little bit. Yeah, man. I mean, good grief. Here we go.
Strike is over.
The union has reached a tentative deal with DC 33. Action News reporter Corey Davis is live in West Philadelphia.
And Corey, the union president gave you interest.
West Philadelphia, born and raised. I couldn't resist.
And maybe somewhat confusing reaction to the deal.
Hey, good morning. So the union president is saying that he isn't happy with the deal, but decided to go forward with it because, according to him, he felt it was the best interest of his union members. So we do know that this deal is a 9% wage increase over 3 years. That is very close to the 8.75% that Mayor Sherrell Parker was pushing for, but a lot lower than the 15% the union was initially demanding. So once again, 9% over 3 years. We spoke with the union president after he left this building here following negotiations and asked him what's next for his members.
That your union stood up and fought for you, and we did the best we could with the circumstances we had in front of us.
What's in the best interest of your members?
To be able to earn a living for themselves and their families.
So you're saying a 3-year deal?
Correct.
Are you at least saying that there was some kind of wage increase that was made?
There was.
So the 9,000 members of District Council 33 walked off the job when their contract expired on July 1st. We saw the trash piling up across the city as sanitation workers walked the picket line for 9 days.
And there was quite a few other things that were on strike as well. I think 911, a lot of that stuff was on strike. Now, what I saw was that the raise was 14% over 4 years, but the original target was 32%. So they still are quite a bit below what they wanted. And I think the average salary right now is $46,000 for trash guys in Philly. They wanted to get to $60,000. So I guess now that it's not going to be 32% over a 4 year and it'll be 14%, they might get to about 50,000, right around that. I'm no math whiz. Y'all do the math on that. 14% of 46,000. I guess you would get to 50 something, not quite 60. So the trash, I don't know how they're going to get all the trash up. I was talking about pressure washers and heavy industrial cleaning agents. What you need is a nor'easter, a hurricane, something to sweep through the whole Philly to get all that trash up. Because you got to scrape everything up off the ground, get it to a landfill, and then clean the area in which the trash was at. And that's going to take forever. Whew, man, good grief. 52,000. Thank you, Kevin Jermaine. I appreciate it. Try 500% pay cut. Yeah, I don't want that. Charmaine says, ABL, you are literally cracking me up. I'm supposed to be quiet while at bingo. I'm literally laughing out loud. You're so funny. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, Philly is just like Baltimore, right there in the I-95 corridor. It ain't really nothing going on financially. There's not really a big money place. When I think Northeast, I think of the big boys, New York, Boston, the Connecticut area, the New York outskirts. But Philly, that ain't really what you think about when you think about money up there in that particular part of the world. Baltimore, all of that, a lot of the old school manufacturing places, shipbuilding places, ain't no money up there. I mean, there's some money, but not like New York at all. So 50,000, that's about what you're going to make in that particular neck of the woods. But yeah, I just pray for the residents in Philly because good grief, y'all having the trash is out there on the ground. And the rats are going to do a pilgrimage. It's going to be a pilgrimage from New York to Philly because of all the trash on the ground. Now, speaking about pilgrimage, speaking about going from one place to another and not really being welcomed, look at this. We have riots or protests out there in Mexico City. We got signs in English saying, hey, pay taxes, learn Spanish, respect my culture. Huh? People like this would come to America and then protest against Americans who say the exact same thing about them and anybody else that comes to the country. I don't care what color you are. This whole thing about, oh, you hate Mexicans, you hate this, you hate that. I don't care what you are. You could be an imaginary friend. You could be the monster under my bed. You could be a bad dream. I don't care what it is. Check it out, bro. You want to come to the country, do it the right way. speak English, pay your taxes, follow the law, don't break the law, respect our culture. Okay? I'm not trying to be on the subway and see you doing something totally crazy or smell you. I'm not trying to respect when in Rome, do as the Romans. Learn how to drive. Don't be all on the road, just, not using your turn signal. Some of these truckers from these third world places, all in the left lane. Why are you over here? You blocking my way. You going like 65 miles an hour in the left lane in the truck for what? I say they have the right to say that, and we should have the exact same right over here. But again, a guy like that will come over here and then tell me I'm wrong. But when he goes home to Mexico City, he does this. It's ironic and hypocritical. Okay, not your home, go home, gringo, all this, that, and the third. That's totally fine. But let us have that same sentiment. And if you feel that way because of American expats in Mexico City just causing the cost of living to go up, they're not speaking Spanish. If you feel that way, then understand why we feel the way understand why we feel how we feel over here. Understand that. You should be able to get that. Okay, let's watch some of this right here about the Mexico City situation.
Protests in Mexico City turned violent over the weekend as protesters took to the streets, making their voices heard against gentrification and mass tourism. The protest was directed at the large number of U.S. tourists as rent prices have increased dramatically since 2020, and many locals feel pushed out of their own neighborhoods, the Associated Press reports.
Pues el día de hoy estamos luchando contra la gentrificación. La gentrificación es este proceso por el cual las personas originarias de los barrios se ven desplazadas por gente con mayor poder adquisitivo. Es decir, gente que viene de otros países, en su mayoría extranjeros, a querer imponer su cultura, sus precios y desplazar a los mexicanos, a los nativos de estas tierras.
The protest started peacefully Friday in neighborhoods popular with foreign visitors. People gathered calmly to express concerns about issues like rising rents, displacement of locals, and how tourism is affecting their neighborhoods. However, the protests turned violent when a small group began smashing the windows of businesses and threatening tourists. Protesters painted graffiti messages including "Get out of Mexico."
Now, that word right there, that's not a very nice word. That's not very nice. Gringo to your effing country. And you can see that right there. Ya país. Okay? Return to your country. To your effing country.
And held signs reading, "Gringos, stop stealing our home." After initial actions in local neighborhoods, marchers assembled outside the U.S. Embassy. And that's when more police officers showed up amid the unrest.
Vengo porque la gentrificación solo es un paso más a la colonización, a los despojos y a que exploten nuestros recursos. Ahorita es con la gente, pero ya falta poco para que cuando se les acabe el petróleo, el agua, el litio en otro país, vengan y nos saquen.
According to the New York Times, Mexico City's government secretary urged an end to the violence, saying Mexico City is a city of migrants and that the city's government does not agree with this type of demonstration. The city's governor, Carla Brugada, released a statement on X denouncing the violence. However, she said Mexico City officials oppose gentrification and are working on making housing more affordable. Similar protests have occurred in European cities such as Barcelona, Madrid, Paris, and Rome.
It's tourism. They say it's too much tourism. It's not really helping them. It's causing things to go up. But see, they kind of end at catch-22 though, because a place like Spain, it's like, okay, what's the industry that Spain has? These European places are not reproducing enough. They're bringing in the third world to replace them. It's pretty much becoming Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan part 2 because they're not producing enough. Ain't no industry in a place like Spain other than the tourism. And you rely upon the tourism so much, now your home has become basically like Busch Gardens, a theme park, an amusement park. Well, it's your fault for heavily relying upon the tourism. Now you got to try to find a way to diversify your economy. But what are you going to do in Barcelona? What do y'all make? What, bull outfits? Like, what are y'all doing up there? That's the question. But I get the sentiment that you want your home to be for you. I totally understand. So that's going to be a government thing. Now, we asked our government to shut the border down. That's why we got the orange man back in town. Biden opened it up. Hey, Trump, come on in, shut that down. Y'all got to do the same thing in your neck of the woods if you're being overtaken by the expats, migrants, whatever you want to call them. When we do that, it's the same thing as y'all wanting to do it. You should just follow our lead and maybe some of your problems won't be as bad in Mexico City, Barcelona, Paris. And Paris, why y'all complaining? Paris has been a dump from the beginning for centuries. Paris has always been a dump. So who cares? If you get any kind of migrants to go to Paris, you're just adding to the existing filth. It's like putting one bag of trash in a landfill. Who cares? It's already a landfill. What's one bag going to do? Ain't making no difference. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Yeah, RIP to Europe. You know the funny part about this? The part of Europe that will survive is going to be the eastern part. Like Russia, basically, they'll survive. UK might be okay because of their proximity to us. But I don't know, man. France, a lot of these places, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how they're going to really continue. Now, where do I want to go next? Because I got like no time. Where do I want to go next? I think I want to go to the Epstein situation. Okay, let's go to, before we get to Epstein, TSA. So
with this,
no shoes, or the shoes being taken off, that requirement is no longer a thing. And I'm not sure when they're going to implement it at all airports, but at a certain point, all airports are going to say you're no longer required to remove your shoes before you go through the actual TSA checkpoint. And that was a benefit you could already have if you had TSA pre-check. But this ain't going to eliminate TSA pre-check, in my humble opinion, because, and I'm sorry for the freeze frame right there, Ms. Noem, but the TSA pre-check allows you to keep your shoes on and your belt and to keep items in your bag, including liquids below 3.5 ounces. With your regular TSA line, you keep your shoes on now, but you still take your belt off and you still take items out of your bag like electronics. So it's not quite the level of TSA pre-check. And TSA pre-check is kind of cheap. It's like $78 for 5-year membership. If that's wrong, they'll let me know. Plus, with TSA pre-check, you get a separate line. So you get a shorter line and you get more benefits. I might get that just to have it, just in case I need it. But I normally don't use nothing like that. But the leaving the shoes on is fantastic. I love it.
shoes policy, we anticipate that Americans and travelers.
Let's start from the top.
With this no shoes policy, we anticipate that Americans and travelers and those coming into our country will be very excited that they will no longer have to remove their shoes. The one thing that I will say is that doesn't mean that there won't be times once in a while where someone will have to remove their shoes. If they get put into a different situation or need additional layers of screening where that may be asked of them. But overwhelmingly, the policy will be that no longer will that be required of every single person that comes to a checkpoint. The golden age of America is here. We're so excited that we can make the experience for those individuals traveling throughout our airports in the United States much more hospitable, more efficient for them, more timely, and that they can get to their destinations and spend much more time with their loved ones and with their families and with those accomplishing great things for their future. So with this.
There we go. So again, shout out Kristi Noem. Shout out to her. Yeah, it's going to make my experience a lot better. But I haven't taken my shoes off. And then as always, this mad dash. For real, I might get the whole TSA pre-check because taking the belt and the shoes. So once I get my stuff, I got to scuttle off to the corner, put my shoes on right quick, throw my belt on right quick. I got to kind of like get out the way. And also, I might have got time for that. Let me just get my bag and get to where I got to go. That's what I want to do. So yeah, shout out to her and shout out to the dog. Some of y'all so mad about that dog. You got to get over it if you are. All right, now let's go to Trump talking about Epstein, also Pam Bondi.
Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former labor secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the stabbing?
Yeah, sure. If
Pam, could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well.
Are y'all buying that? So when she was asked about the client list, she says, it's on my desk. And she was not referring to the client list when she said it. She was just saying the file itself. Now, maybe she was assuming or presuming that the list would be in the file. What do y'all think? Give me your BS meter on that. Are you getting spotty senses tingling? Is it going to like really ring off, or is it not really a big deal? Am I overreacting? Let's keep on going.
That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively. The video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
So what do y'all think? Are you buying it? Are you not buying it? What's going on? And the thing about it is, there have been so much talk about the Epstein files from a lot of these people in office, right? Dan Bongino, Cash Patel, all these people have been talking about it a lot. And now it's like, don't worry about that. It ain't really nothing. It ain't nothing really to see. He was just a nasty dude. I don't know. I mean, some people don't really care. I think if you ask a lot of people, they don't really care. But my thing is, it kind of stinks because it sounds like you said one thing and then now you're saying something else. Now you're trying to cover your tracks. I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. Nobody buys it. Nobody. Tessa says my BS meter is exploding. JV says not buying it. What difference? Hey, Wilbert says what difference would it make? Ain't no big deal. What difference would it make? Well, hey. Now let's just show some of this, right? This is Pam Bondi before, and this is Pam Bondi now. Let's just show it, and then we could just take it from there.
There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn, and there are hundreds of victims, and no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume, and that's what they're going through. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. There are tens of...
All right, so, I mean, that's that. Maybe it fits what she says now. Maybe it doesn't, but I'm just playing it so you guys make your own decision. Now, here's Ben Shapiro. Okay, I am going to play Ben Shapiro. I know some of y'all may, it might be a mixed audience as far as Ben's support, but let's just play this so you can just hear what he's talking about. All righty, let's go ahead and let it rock.
However, when President Trump speaks for the American people more generally, and he says, guys, don't we have better things to do? You can understand his irritation. The man is trying to negotiate an end to a war in the Gaza Strip. He's trying to negotiate an end to a war in Ukraine. He's attempting to revivify the American economy. He's attempting to crack down on illegal immigration. On a list of American priorities by the polls, the Epstein-Maxwell case comes in pretty close to zero, just on a list of priorities. However, when President Trump speaks for the American people more generally, and he says, guys, don't we have better things to do? You can understand his irritation. The man is trying to negotiate an end to a war in the Gaza Strip. He's trying to negotiate an end to a war in Ukraine. He's attempting to revivify the American economy. He's attempting to crack down on illegal immigration. On a list of American priorities by the polls, the Epstein-Maxwell case comes in pretty close to zero, just on a list of priorities. However, when President Trump speaks for the American people more generally, and he says, guys, don't we have better things to do? You can understand his irritation. The man is trying to negotiate an end to a war in the Gaza Strip.
All right, there we go. So shout out to Ben. Hey, what do y'all think? Y'all let me know. Give me some feedback on that. Are y'all agreeing with him, not agreeing with him? Let me know what you think. Record is skipping. It just kind of had played over, but it was like a seamless thing to the next one, so I didn't really realize that it had played over. All right, this is going to be Mike Benz on the Epstein case. Okay, let's watch this.
Is this a case where DOJ overpromised, underdelivered? What happened?
What often happens in these cases, in fact, the JFK files have really interesting CIA memos on the kind of knife fight they have with the Justice Department when their own assets are being prosecuted. I think that Pam Bondi did not know what she was stepping into and had assumed it was like what most of MAGA world had said about the corruption of Bill Barr and the corruption of the Biden administration, and that they sort of jumped the horses out the gate, thinking that they would be able to conduct a normal investigation, and then
This was a little bit above a few people's
Birdie
fingers.
started talking in the ears of senior DOJ officials, I think of senior intelligence officials. The fact that there has been not even an attempt to try to answer about Epstein's intelligence links, after, frankly, damning statements by Alex Acosta and a complete non-investigation by the Bill Barr Justice Department on that. To me, it's a giant stinker, and the idea that this is just going to go away is just not going to happen.
All right, so what do y'all think? You think Mike Benz is on point, off point, somewhere in between? Y'all let me know. Okay, y'all let me know. War is Peace says, I saw a video of Trump kissing the Wailing Wall in Israel. I only know what the wall, I don't know too much about that. That's really, I don't know a lot about a lot of things people do. You know, that's not really my area of expertise. Okay, let's hear from my man. This is Patrick Bet David. Okay, Patrick Bet David. Let's hear from him about this whole Epstein kerfuffle on a Fox News interview.
You talking about Epstein?
Yeah.
I think good to be back on with you, buddy. But this is what I will tell you: the number one trending hashtag right now on X is Epstein. 2 million people have tweeted with the topic of Epstein. Number two is Nicki Minaj at 100,000. Comey's at 42,500. There is a reason why people are asking about this. This is by far, and I'm a supporter. 3 times I voted for this man. This is by far the biggest fumble of the administration they've had thus far. And here's the reason why. If you remember the president winning, he had a conversation with Fox News, the great Rachel Campos Duffy, and she asked, Mr. President, 9/11, yes. John F. Kennedy, yes. Epstein, he didn't say yes. He was a little bit hesitant of bringing that information out. Why? So why does his leadership team go out there and like, we have this information and we're going to release this and cash? And let me tell you what we have with Pam Bondi out of the state of Florida. She knew everything about Bondi, about Epstein. Why are you fumbling this? Why are you not having an emergency meeting together to conversate and say, hey, we're going to be on the same page with messaging on this? All you have to do is send a message to everybody, say, God, let's have a conference call. Here's what we're going to be saying about this, because this was a very important issue to not 80% of the voters that voted for President Trump, but I think 20% of the voters wanted to know what's going to happen with Epstein, and it's a big letdown. I totally get the big victories. Tariff, $300 billion valuation this year of how much money is going to come from tariffs. Last year, the government only got $80 billion or so. That's like a company increasing their valuation by 4x. Massive victory. The stuff that's going on with, different areas we're winning. What happened with, Iran, the back and forth, the conversations. I think this was the biggest fumble when it came down to Epstein. And the more they answer like that, the more attention you're going to draw to. People are going to ask, why are they so nervous about this? What do you know that the rest of us don't know? If it's just the fact that you want to hold people blackmail, is that the relation between everything? Everyone's read the stories. It's not like we don't know what it is. It's not like the only thing people watch nowadays is Fox. People watch Twitter. People go X. People go CNN. People go ChatGPT. People know what happened with this guy. But my biggest suggestion, let's not have another fumble like the one we just had here, because this was the biggest fumble by the administration.
All right, there we go. So what do y'all think? Do y'all think Patrick Bet-David is on point, off point, somewhere in between? Don't really care, do care? Y'all let me know. But I just wanted to play not everybody's. I just wanted to play a few different takes on it so you would get a full range of what's happening there with the whole Epstein kerfuffle. All righty. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you enjoyed what you're hearing tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, running out of time here. I think I want to play one more. This is going to be Kamala. Well, it's not Kamala, but it's about Kamala. Now, let's set it up. What's my man's name? My man's name is Kareem Rama, Rahma. He has this show called Subway Takes. Some of y'all might have seen it, where he's on the subway in New York City, and he does interviews on the subway talking about what's your best take, what's your hot take, and then they say something. It's a short little interview. Y'all probably seen those videos on social media. Now, he did an interview with Kamala, and it was so bad that they didn't put it out. Okay, let's watch some of this. Oh, you want to talk Carnival Cruise? I don't got a lot of time for the Carnival Cruise one. I might do that, maybe. Is that what you want to talk about? Let me just do this one. Matter of fact, how about this? Sound Mixer, if that's your name, or anybody else. If you want to talk Carnival Cruise, you got to call me and ask me the question, and then I'll give you the answer. But let's watch this. Again, Subway Takes, Raheem. What's the dude's name? All these, Kareem Rama. All right, listen. I got to get acclimated to these brand new names in the country. All I know is Bill, Ted, John, Dave. Anything else, I don't know what it is. But let's watch this.
Emailed me.
They got an email from the
DNC.
Okay.
And they said, hey, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are really interested in being on your show. I said, that sounds cool.
Okay.
I'll at least get to tell my daughter that I met the potential president of the United States.
Yeah.
And so I said yes, based on the fact that it would be a good story. And also they both had good takes.
What happened with Kamala?
Her take was really confusing and weird and not good. And so mutually agreed that we shouldn't publish it.
I see.
And I got lucky because I didn't want to be blamed for her losing.
Her take was that bad?
It was really, really bad, and it was like didn't make any sense. I can tell you, it was bacon as a spice. Bacon as a spice.
Bacon as a spice.
Emailed me.
They got an email.
So her take was that bacon is a spice. Now, I don't really know how that happens. I don't really know how that's considered to be a spice. Bacon? Bacon bits, maybe? I'm trying to, give her a little bit of credit. I'm trying to figure out where she could be coming from with that. Why did she say that? What was she meaning? Maybe if you put bacon bits in, a grinder, you grind that up, you could use like pepper or something. I don't know. Has anybody ever heard that bacon is a spice? He said it was so bad, I didn't want to be the reason why she lost. Yikes. Good grief. So Beef and Chicken says, my stupid sister says that. Really? For real? That's crazy. That's crazy. Bacon is a flavor, says Duels. Devin says, I identify as bacon. There we go. LOL, even bacon bits aren't a spice. Look, I know. Okay, I know that bacon is not a spice. I've never in my life said such a thing. I'm just trying to give her a little bit of credit. I'm trying to just give her the benefit of the doubt a little bit, but I can't. I cannot. So yeah, spice as in flavor. I guess she was trying to say it like that. Don't get me to lying now. Don't get me to lying. Auntie says bacon salt is a thing. NKM says bacon can be a topping. Okay, hold on. Most Mundane says, yes, bacon can be a spice. Hey, you know what? Y'all got it. Don't even worry about it. Whatever y'all say, it's the truth. If you wanna call me and say, hey, ABL, check it out. Bacon is a spice. You right. You are right. Zephyr says, cannot get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to bacon. Well, Auntie says Walmart was carrying it as far as that bacon salt. You know what? I'm not even really gonna be. I won't even really say I know you're right. I've never seen it, but I know you're right because I've seen all types of salts and seasonings and whatnot on the shelves all over the USA. So yeah, I know you're right about that. So yeah, shout out to the bacon salt. And shout out to Kamala for leading with that, talking about it's a spice. Alrighty. But if you like what you heard tonight, if you like what you're hearing so far, pardon me, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. I got super chats on deck, and then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. Did I say that right? Yeah, there we go. All right, we got super chats. Then I'm going to get to the call. Second, Michael Critchlow says, there's no dirtier floor than the jailhouse floor. Well, yeah, that one too. That one, yeah, yeah, you got a point there, Michael Critchlow. That the penitentiary floor, the jailhouse floor is real bad. Thank you to the white man for gifting 10. Well, let's do both hands, shall we? 10 ABL memberships. I appreciate you for that. Thank you to Beans for joining the ABL squad. Being a member for 28 months who says, can't release something you need to blackmail the ones involved. Hola, chat. Shout out to Kaius Parchments who says, how about the LA raids and the Texas CBP shooters? Thank you to Aborigine Ashley for becoming a member. And I did see the Texas Border Patrol shooters, but I ran out of time. I might do a video about that, actually. Thank you to Regina, the godmother, who says, that was Timu Jet Black playing the guitar, ABL. Hey, you right about that. Thank you to Islanita, who says, thanks to whoever for gifting me a membership. Hey, there go the white man. Thank the white man for that. Shout out to Islanita, who says, seems like the strike was effective with the Italian. Right on. The strike was very effective. Well, effective enough for them to get some money. Thank you to Kevin, who says, a recent poll asked inhabitants of a border town if illegal immigration benefited the community. 33% responded with no. The remaining 68% responded with C. Time and soul. There we go. Thank you to Iron Spider, who says, I wish the protests, aka riots, had the same energy for the cartel. Oh, nah. A lot of them probably involved with the cartel. A lot of them probably getting paid by the cartel to riot. Anyway, the number to call, 706-406-3287. The phone lines are rocking and rolling right now. Phone lines are open. Auntie says Walmart has been wild. They even have some sort of powdered ketchup, salt, question mark. Yeah. I try to avoid Walmart during certain times of the month. EBT card refresh time, the 1st through the 5th. I'm good. Don't worry about it. I'm not going. Yeah, I am not going. Because I'm going to see some things I don't want to see. Yeah, that's just not really my cup of tea. Can EBT cover bacon? Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah. Bacon is pretty simple. Now, EBT might not cover your sugary drinks. It might not cover. I saw a video of a guy. I guess it's a guy. It might be a girl pretending to be a guy talking about well, my testosterone's not covered. Well, it shouldn't be covered. Okay, ma'am. You born as a girl, and then now you want to identify as a man, talking about well, I want to get free testosterone treatments. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. Yeah, you better just go ahead and put on some, hey, just be like everybody else that can't afford testosterone. Be a stud, just like a hooligan. Do that rather than trying to get free medicine from the government to appear to be more masculine. 559, you don't lie. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, Patrick in California. How's it going?
Going well, man. How about yourself?
Hey, good, man. You know, I just called you and I lost my train of thought. Oh, man. So with Pam Bondi and Jeffrey Epstein, man, you know, I know a lot of people are for it and a lot of people are against it. I've been hearing that people that are on this supposed list are like big, huge players from other countries, such as Prince Andrew and stuff like that. Of course, you know, that's who we know so far. I mean, what do they want us to do about it? Are we supposed to like expose these world leaders and then like send our military in to go get them or something? I'm not sure what people want us to do on that end of the scope. But then also, I don't know why, you know, Trump just doesn't unleash the full power of the DOJ, you know, since it's such a big deal to those who do want to solve this issue. And I don't blame them. I do as well. And just say, you know, whatever you need to do, here's the authority and go do it. What do you think the holdup is, ABL? I mean, you know, do you think that this is just something that we should just sweep under the rug? I mean, I know I've heard you on the show say that, you know, you really don't think it's, you know, something that we could really do much about, but I don't know. What do you think, sir?
I think they don't really have anything, you know, because it's one thing when you're talking about, okay, social media, people want certain things to happen. They want heads to roll, but I don't think they have enough to do anything. Not enough to where it would satisfy the general public. That's just my humble opinion.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you 100% on that as well, because, you know, it's something that I feel like picked up a whole lot of steam. But then when those podcasters and those reporters had come out holding that big binder of, you know, those names and supposed information, and then they opened it up and it was all redacted and it just wound up being a big nothing burger. I think that was the biggest letdown of the entire duration of this case. I mean, to see that, and it kind of shows me that, well, I don't really think they know much more than what they're showing us then. If that's what Pam Bondi, the DOJ, gave them, then, you know, that's all that they must know, because I don't think that they would be disingenuous and lie to all those people intentionally, you know, unless that there was some sort of a issue of national security at hand, which I don't think that there is. But, yeah, you know, I kind of feel like you, ABL, like I don't really think there's a whole lot that we can do about it right now at this point. So anyway, sir, I'll just leave it at that. Thank you so much for the opportunity for me to call in and give my 2 cents on that issue. God bless you, sir, and God bless the United States of America. Take care.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. All right, great call. Shout out to my man for the call. Let's go to 480. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Anthony Brian Logan. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. What's happening?
Hey, I'm just calling out here from Arizona, just watching you on your live show. I didn't actually think I'd get through. I'm listening to prior callers, and you picked up. Well, I just want to say, you know, Make America Great Again is real. We voted for this man. He's a genuine person. He was re-elected. And I just, I'm just being honest. I still am having a hard time finding friends, not family, but friends that share my belief and what you stand for in your show.
Well, you know, I say keep on plugging. It might not be very easy, but good things aren't always easy to come by.
We've been through this since 2016. This is it's still new to all of us because we know the propaganda out there, and they're the media. They're still pushing it, and it's like, but I still don't know what this man has done wrong. I still don't know, even though I back him. and I backed your show. Like, we're just hospitable U.S. citizens that want to make America great again. There's nothing wrong with that. That's all I got to say. Just a genuine person.
Right on, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Have a great evening.
Same to you.
Bye now.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. And shout out to you guys as well. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, you know what to do. Give me the thumbs up. And the number to call is 706-406-3287. The number is always in the box, in the description box. Also in the ticker, at a certain point, it'll come up right beneath me. Okay, the Carnival Cruise. Y'all want to talk about that for real, huh? That was an interesting video on Uncle ABL. Shout out to you guys who subscribe to Uncle ABL. And while I got time right now and I'm talking about it, if you're not subscribed to my other channel, Uncle ABL, where I talk about more social things, please do so right now. I got a lot of topics for that. I'll be putting out short videos, long videos, whatever you want. And I'm on Facebook, Instagram, all of that with Uncle ABL as well. So wherever you are, I'll be there right for you. 734, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, it's Taisha from Michigan. How you doing?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
I'm good. Yeah, so I just had a couple comments tonight. The first one was regarding that guy and his son. You can't lie. At the end when he said, your flag is made in Taiwan, that one was funny. He hit on that one.
It was funny. I laughed. I ain't gonna lie.
It was a good little tune. But then the second comment was for all of those disgusting liberals that had those comments to say about those kids in Texas, and for anybody that died in Texas. I don't care who you voted for. That was a natural disaster. People, whoever you voted for, they didn't ask for that to happen because of who they voted for. I just cannot believe the comments and the audacity that people have to post these things on the internet. And then a pediatrician as that, like, how can you get up and go to work, even after the day that you posted that? How can you live with yourself? It was just absolutely disgusting, and I'm happy that she was fired and every other repercussion for all the other disgusting people.
I'm right there with you 100%, because that was crazy. Because it was like, look, we're talking about human life. Whether you Democrat, Republican, whatever, black, white, it don't matter. We're talking about human beings dead. That's what matters here.
Exactly. It kind of reminded me, sometimes it makes me with certain like black liberals, if they try to, like, I don't know if you remember when the thing happened with the little girls and then Malcolm X, when he made that comment, and it kind of reminded me a little bit of that. I can't exactly remember who he was talking to, but it was on an interview when they was asking him, was he happy that the little white girls, I think it was a plane crash or something like that. But to me, it's like people go back and watch that and try to recreate that. And it's just like, why? Just get off the internet. But that was my only comment for tonight. And hey to everybody in the comments. And have a good night.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
Okay.
All right. Great call. Fantastic call. Now, I saw a comment that said, how can ABL be my uncle if I'm older than him? You don't got a baby uncle nowhere? When your grandma had a baby late and your uncle is like younger than you, you got a uncle nephew. Don't, like, I'm the only one that seen something like that. Yeah, that's, that happens. Okay, your grandma had kids for like 30 years. And the last one, that's your uncle, but he's like your baby brother or something. 860, you know who I'm speaking to?
Anthony, how you doing? It's FLA Ranger Xbox.
All right, man, what's going on?
On the subject you were talking on that I just caught, I just happened to help you out with that, about how can you have a baby as an uncle? My Aunt Mary, my dad's one of his older sisters, diehard Christian. Apparently when the Bible said go forth and multiply, she took that serious, because in Indiana she had 18 kids. I think 2 of them served in Korea, 4 of them served in Vietnam, and then she had Rao, her baby, same year my baby brother was born, 1970.
There you go. See?
So, yeah. And that's in Portland, Indiana. They're all farmers. Apparently the winters are cold in Indiana on the farm. But anyhow, I don't know but I think this might be a possibility with this Epstein thing. It's not the biggest priority in the world. It is an evil tragedy that needs to be squashed because they do use war as child harvesting. But it might be a setup to let them drop their guard for a while, to let them, you know what I mean? And I'll let you go with that, brother. Great show. Have a good night. Love the callers. God bless America. Take care, buddy.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. All right. Shout out to the callers. Keep on rocking and rolling here. Yeah, and also I have nieces. My oldest niece is 31 and I'm 40. So, you know, it gets kind of weird because my older sister is 10 years older than me. My older sister, she just turned 50 this year. So it's weird how that works. Age gaps and all that kind of good stuff. 770, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. This is Yoli. I have two questions.
All righty.
Okay. First is regarding Elon Musk. Trump was hanging out with him, and he did a lot of things to help us out in our country. Do you think that it was right for Trump to threaten Elon to have him deported?
Well, I'm not quite sure if he threatened him to get deported. I think he was asked a question, and then he answered it. So he just was kind of talking like that. I don't think it was like a threat to deport him.
Okay. So, and you know what? I voted for Trump 3 times, and I really like him, and I adore Melania. But the thing is, you know, when somebody goes around threatening or saying things like that, I am really surprised that Elon didn't throw it back and say, well, what about Melania? She wasn't born in this country either.
Okay. I mean, I guess he could say that.
Okay, then my second question is about regarding this case right now with Epstein and everything. I was wondering, why isn't there more Democrats voicing their opinions out on this? You know, just like this tragedy that happened in Texas. Stacey Abrams was out there bad-mouthing the situation, and a lot of other people as well. And, you know, that was totally disrespectful considering the lives and the tragedies that occurred. And why do you think that there's not more Democrats that are being outspoken about the Epstein case?
Well, they don't really care. People don't, you know, most people don't really care. The Democrats are only going to care about the situation if it's politically expedient for them to care. And right now it's not. So they're not really going to say anything. Now, the moment it becomes helpful for them, the moment they can take advantage of it to propel them forward, then they'll say something about it, which is why it just had a show about it on CNN with Jake Tapper talking, or whoever that was talking, because now it can help them, because now there's attention on it.
Exactly. It's all exposed now. Okay, ABL. Well, thank you again, and you have a blessed day, and I appreciate you. Thank you again. I enjoy your show. Goodbye.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you. Okay, shout out to her. Nice caller. Nice lady. Shout out to her. I appreciate you guys for rocking and rolling with me. There was something I wanted to say in here. I forgot what it was. Talking about something. Yeah, ABL need a wife. Been there, done that. I'm good. Don't worry about it. I'm totally fine. I'm happy. Hey, I tell you what. Anybody that want to try to hook ABL up, I'm happy. So don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Just, you know, enjoy the show. That's all you got to do. Don't worry about none of that extra stuff. Just enjoy the show. You know, how much speaker to 317.
Hey, this is Tom. I was just wondering what you think about his allegation that you're not going to ever see the files because Trump is on the list.
I mean, I don't think that Trump is in any kind of way compromised, because if he was, we would have already known about it, because we've seen Trump and them trying to lock him up for everything, for the smallest of things that don't matter. So something like the Epstein situation, that would have been a slam dunk to lock him up on. So they would have mentioned that by now. So him being in the
think that,
huh?
But the thing is, what if there's other people on there that they can't afford to compromise, so they're not using that against him?
I mean, that could be part of it, but then that kind of goes back to your first question. I mean, at that point, it wouldn't be about Trump; it'd be about others. Because if they try to expose Trump, then they got to expose others.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe people, if they don't want to have compromise, like Bill Clinton or someone, but you know that Sean Ryan podcast that has all different people on there.
Yes.
Well, he had the investigative journalist Nick Bryant on there, and the guy talked about Gawker.com and that it has the list on there. So I went on there and I downloaded it, and it's a PDF, and he's actually on the list along with many other powerful people. What do you think of that?
You said who was on the list now?
Trump and a bunch of other powerful people.
I mean, look, if he's there, then my question would be, okay, what are you doing there? Like, you're on the list, and what did they say about you? Because you could be on the list. Okay, you were an associate. You knew Elon. You knew who Epstein was. Okay, but what did I do? What am I being accused of in the files? That's the most important question.
Well, the files is just a list. It's a PDF of people that they have that they could blackmail. It probably means that they have a video of something. And a lot of people are talking about this like, hey, you said you were going to give the files and now you're not. Now Trump is flipped. Trump's compromised. I think what's really happening here is he's actually playing the long game. I think at the end, he's going to release the list, like towards the end of his term. And he's going to be like, yeah, I'm on it. And I did this, this, and that. And you can punish me however you want now. But I had to straighten out my country before I go to jail or whatever it is. I think that's actually something that he might do.
I don't know about that one. That might be a little bit of a stretch. I mean, it could happen, but I think that might be a tad bit of a stretch.
Okay, well then, do you think we'll ever see the files?
I don't know. I mean, I've already said I don't really personally care, but I don't know. And you know what? Here's something else I want to say. If we think, like many of us do think, that Jeffrey Epstein was killed in his cell under the nose of the federal government, and somehow nobody saw anything, and there's no video of it, some, dead at jackal type of, just way above everybody's pay grade type of assassination. If that kind of thing happened, then what makes us think there's video of it? Like somebody was on their cell phone taking a selfie and recorded themselves doing it, and we're going to be able to see that. And there's a list conveniently of high profile people and the crime they did right next to it. Why would that exist if any kind of evidence of him being killed by somebody was wiped away? All of that, the whole thing is wiped away. If one is wiped away, all of it would be. So I don't really anticipate seeing anything like that.
They have to keep a list of people to blackmail, and they have to keep the blackmail material.
Well,
as far as the video,
but look though,
they said that the video cameras were turned off when it happened.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, we don't have any video of it happening. We don't know nothing about him killing himself or what. All we got to do is take their word for it. But my point is, if they did kill him and nobody saw anything, and we've not seen anything, and it's been almost 10 years, what makes us think we're going to have better evidence of a list? And you can say, well, they got to keep a list, but does it have to be on paper? It has to be written down so we can see it. If there was a list, it probably ain't no list no more. That probably all got destroyed.
Well, I don't think we're going to see the list anytime soon, if we ever do, and we probably won't. And it's the same reason there, like that it is with the P. Diddy stuff, because if you trace it back from Epstein to whoever's running him, you keep on going up the ladder. Some people say it's Mossad, some people say CIA, but that tactic has been a CIA tactic since at least the 60s, maybe earlier, that you get people in a room with a two-way mirror, and you record them doing stuff that they can't be seen doing. And then once you got that, you blackmail them, make them do what you want, whether it's a senator or president or whoever it is. You own them, you give them plenty of money so that they're not mad at you. You let them do whatever the heck they want, and then you just keep blacking them and say, you got to do this and that we want also. And you keep doing it. And it's going to lead back to probably the CIA, and so is the P. Diddy stuff, which is why that stuff hasn't really come out. And they use the same tactics in the P. Diddy that he used here and that were in documentaries about how they used to do this in the 60s. So I don't think that they're going to let it out because they know who it's going to lead to.
Well, I mean, I understand your point of view.
Well, do you agree with it or no?
I mean, not really, because I don't see no evidence. It's like, I guess that's possible, but I would be irresponsible if I said, yeah, without really knowing for sure.
Wait, so you think this guy was doing this by himself just for money? You don't think anyone was behind him running this in any way, that it was state sponsored at all?
Who are you talking about?
Epstein.
I don't know the answer to your question. I mean, what you're saying is possible. I'm not trying to, it ain't, you're trying to make it be like, you have to think this way or think that way. My stance is that I don't really know. So,
okay,
I'm open, but I'm open to what you're saying. I'm not saying that what you're saying is false because I don't know.
Well, that's fair enough. But those two mob guys, Sammy the Bull and Michael Francis, who have both spent time in that particular cell or that block that was right there, said that it was so secure there was no way that you would be able to, kill yourself. And they'd stop you or whatever it is. And not only did this happen within, I think it was 8 or 9 hours after he went into the cell, but also all the cameras were turned off at the same time. The guards were allegedly sleeping or somewhere else. The guards got charged with manslaughter and the other thing, and then the charges got dropped. And then all of a sudden now, the people who have the evidence and were going to reveal it are not revealing anything. Who has enough juice, enough power behind them to make all of those things happen? It's not some guy on the sex offender registry, I'll tell you that.
I mean, I get it, but until we really figure out, we just kind of speculating.
The only people that have that kind of power is government.
Okay, but you don't know. Okay, so who did it? Point to him. Do you have we're speculating. That's it. I mean, you may think that what you're saying is close to correct, or you may believe in what you're saying is right, but ultimately you don't have the evidence. This is you speculating.
Okay. I get what you're saying, that because it points in a general direction, I don't have a particular suspect and all the evidence that proves it, but every single thing points to that it could only be that because no one else has the ability to do that besides the government. That's why I'm pointing in that direction. I'm not saying I could prosecute this and have a conviction if I were an attorney. I'm saying that the only thing that it leads to is that, and that's the only thing that I could logically conclude. And as far as about the idea,
hold on. Like we gotta kind of like land your plane right quick because you kind of been on for a while. So make your point.
Okay.
Make your point.
As far as the notion of him killing himself, I just want to say I would believe in Santa Claus before I believe that. All right.
Right on, man. Well, thank you for your call. I appreciate you.
All right. See you later. Bye.
All right. I'm saying, like, he believes what he's saying. I'm not trying to say that he's false. Like, I'm not trying to call him a liar or nothing like that, but that's your opinion. I just don't really, he could be right, but he could be wrong. I don't know. Me, I try to, like, shy away from saying stuff like that where I can't really, what he's saying could be right or it might not be. But then again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. If there's some Daddy Jackal type of super covert op in which he got killed and nobody saw it, why would we also think at the same time that there's a list that we're going to have access to and it's going to have everybody's name and address and what they did right next to it? You see what I'm saying? If one is true, then how would the other one be true?
There's some Danny
859, you know who I'm speaking to.
Yo, ABL. I'm sorry. Sorry, you're hearing yourself on the background there, my friend. My bad. Your libertarian friend, the combination of Hami Ali and Anton LaVey. How's it going, my brother?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Fantastic. I was wanting to, if you don't mind, I wanted to, ask your opinion and the possibility of the whole Epstein thing. Of all the things of the whole Epstein list, do you really think all of it may be sex trafficking, blackmail, or it could be some other stuff like financial stuff? Because I hate to say it, Trump's many things, and the mainstream media and liberal media exaggerates like 90% of what Trump's been accused of. As media, what do you expect? Do you think there could be a possibility that Jeffrey Epstein could have been blackmailing Trump from stuff from the 1980s over taxes? You never know.
I mean, I guess that's possible, but I don't know how you'd be able to. I don't know how a citizen would be able to blackmail another citizen over taxes.
You'd be surprised at that. Not only that, man, he might be owing from something from way back in the first place. Nobody's perfect. Everybody has skeletons in their closets. Trump is many things, and Trump is not other things other people say. I don't necessarily think he's racist, homophobic, slightly sexist. I get that. But the financial stuff may be a bit questionable sometimes, especially back in the early 90s and 80s, especially when he was in New York. Every single pavement, think about it, was funded by the workers' unions. The workers' unions are with the connections with the mob. You never know about Trump and what he has in his history back in the 80s and 90s. And not necessarily, I'm not necessarily what liberal media says. A lot of it is just rumors and exaggeration. But there could be a possibility that Trump could have some skeletons in the closet that we may not know. And my question is, would that be a possibility? And that one, I don't know who it was who said, I wish those dead C-word died in the flood. I don't know who it was, but God, people are gross. Ugh. I don't know where this country is coming from when you have people on in mainstream media saying that kind of stuff. But hey, thank you very much for taking my call, ABL. I appreciate it. If you can give me an answer for that, I would love to hear it. Talk to you later.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. All right, shout out to the caller. Let's go to 215. Hit on line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, how's it going?
It's good, man. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Yeah, I hear you loud. Okay, we hear each other. That's good. All right, so it's insane. I'm seeing a lot of stuff going on with these Epstein files. First there was talks that said they were going to get released. Now they didn't get released, and the Trump administration just seemed like they've backtracked on saying they were going to release the files. What's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on what? Like it's okay. We say you're going to release it and then don't release it.
Yeah.
I mean, my thing is, okay, if there was something that was said and then they say something else, they got to explain it. I was playing the video earlier where they said, well, we didn't really say we had the files. We didn't say we had the list. We said we had the file. But it was like, nah, I'm not really buying that whole thing. Now, ask me if I care, not necessarily. But I think that if we're going to have a good administration and a good relationship with them, they got to be totally transparent. You can't be this miscommunication or lying going on. So that'd be my only concern.
Yeah, you know what? See, I'm just now tuning into the show, but that, like you said, when you just now playing the video, like you said, you was playing the video earlier. I've been seeing a bunch of other content creators. That same video that you're talking about has been all over the internet, so I've been seeing it. So, and it's like, and a lot of people are saying like the transparency with the government being transparent, saying like she said she had the files on the desk, but then now you don't have the files, and it's just like it's just back and forth. Not what's the word I'm looking for? Not being transparent with the public. It's just going back to the public and just going back to making more conspiracy. The old conspiracy theories where they thought George W. Bush committed 9/11. It's going back to those kind of conspiracy theories.
Okay. Well, of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I understand what you mean.
Yeah, it's just a lot of conspiracy theories still popping up. Because one thing I've heard, ABL, is when people they can't get answers from the government, a lot of conspiracy theories start to arise.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah, so now that's the era. That's what's going on right now. So many conspiracy theories are just popping up. I'm just hearing it, but I'm not believing everything I hear. I'm just waiting to see what happens next.
Man, that's probably the best way to be, for sure.
Yeah, and I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I wanted to say one more thing. Now I agree with a lot of people. We don't want our money to go to Israel and funding Ukraine. But here's what I started to research. I started to research that the money we send to Israel and foreign aid, we actually get a lot back in return, as far as materials, goods, and all kinds of other stuff. In any technology they've managed to manufacture in their country, they send it to us, regardless if it's involved militarily and anything military. Sorry about that. And basically it seemed like it was in the value. The value is a lot more than what we sent over there. So basically what I'm saying, I'm gonna just get to the point. Say if we sent them $8 billion, we would get back materials and goods and everything we get from Israel. We would get back $10 billion, $20 billion more in materials and goods and value increased than what we originally sent over there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So yeah, and I looked up this chart. I looked up the chart online, and I'm trying to help post a video. I'm about to post a video on this on YouTube, basically, of what I saw and the chart that I saw. So basically, back in 2000, what was a good example? 2008. So I can think of this one off the top of my head. We sent Israel $8.540 billion in foreign aid, and what we got back in return, and the value was $20 billion, at least over $100 million in materials and goods that we got back from Israel. That same year, we sent them the $8 billion in aid. And another thing I've learned is that Israel, the reason why all the stuff we give them, we have over 1,000 businesses in the United States have government contracts in the United States to manufacture either weapons for Israel. They'll test our weapons over there, either for the United States or for themselves. And also it provides.
Do you have a list in front of you as you're reading?
I remember off the top of my head, but I have it screenshotted. I can just look at it right now. And they also provide 20,000 jobs in the United States because we manufacture a lot of weapons and technology for Israel, and they manufacture technology for us. So basically, it's like a big partnership, and it's like a big partnership the United States has with Israel. So Israel does not control the government. That's false right there. They may have some influence and all that, but they don't control the United States government. It's just a big partnership.
All right, man. Well, I thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Gotcha. Yeah, thanks for taking my call. Sorry to take up so much time.
It's all good, man. Appreciate you. All right, shout out to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. But yeah, I mean, I'm not one of these guys that say, "Oh, blame them." To me, it's just kind of waste of time. And I ain't really with all that. So yeah, shout out to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate you. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you like what you heard tonight, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All righty. Let me see. But I'm reading some of you guys' comments here. Maybe I could take one more call before I roll on out, wrap it on up, put the bow on top. Yeah, I mean, as far as the whole Epstein thing, I think what Ben Shapiro said is correct, although, again, no, a lot of people don't necessarily like Ben, but what he said is right. It's low on the priority list of Americans. Americans are worried about their border, the economy. They're not really worried about Jeffrey Epstein in the files and things of that nature. You know what I mean? That's kind of what's going on with that. 203, you don't know who I'm speaking to.
ABL, it's your friend, the Automotive Truth. How are ya?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Theo ABL. I'm the one that calls you Theo ABL, by the way. Listen, I wanted to ask you. I wanted to make a comment about the Epstein thing. everybody's at an uproar about, well, Pam Bondi said this, and and now they're holding back information. But these files were on Biden's lap also. And Biden said the same thing, or his administration said the same thing, that there's nothing to see here. There's nothing to see here, and they put the kibosh on it too. So I'm not sure why everybody's at an uproar about that. Also, I wanted to ask you, did you know about Trump sent weapons over to, or defense weapons over to Ukraine? How do you feel about that?
I mean, I wish they would just stop this whole Ukraine-Russia war, but I don't see it coming to an end anytime soon. So that's pretty much where I'm at on that one.
Yeah, but especially him, why give them stuff? Why even, he said he was gonna put an end to it. I don't know what's going on, but I mean, I'm still standing behind Trump and what he's doing. He is the president of deal making, so we're supposed to, stand by. I'm not going back. We're not going back on our vote. There's just a lot of things that are happening, and I just hope that whatever this Epstein thing that's going on, that it's whatever the leverage is that he's using it for, and whatever that that it's all for America. America first.
Right on, absolutely.
All right, that's all I got.
Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Pray for us in Texas.
Right on. All right, shout out to the Automotive Truth Podcast. Shout out to her. Unknown caller, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill, how you doing, man?
I'm well. About yourself?
Hey, very good. Hey, listen, it seems that everybody is so tied up with this whole Epstein kerfuffle, like you call it, right? Mm-hmm. And when I'm thinking, something, my gut feeling tells me it's a huge distraction from something else, like a bigger picture, because if you notice, this is all we're talking about, right? So what I would be looking at is what's really going on, like in the background, like what's the big distraction, And that's something I've been thinking about, and I just can't, pinpoint what it might be. And I'm just wondering if you have any gut feeling about that too.
I don't know. I'm not really thinking about it being a distraction, so I really don't know what it could be.
Yeah. I get you, man. It seems like everywhere, social media, us right now, the news, that's the whole spotlight right now, right? So, we got to be looking at other avenues that a lot of people are missing right now. That's basically all I got to say, because it's easy to get focused, put the spotlight on the low-hanging fruit, right? But then what the hell is really going on, like in the background, So
right.
I thought I'd throw it out there, and, we love your show, and, keep doing your thing, man.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Take care of yourself.
All righty. Shout out to the caller. But I think that'll be a wrap for me tonight. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. I'll be back live again Saturday, same bat time, same bat place, 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And y'all know I'm on the Instagrams every Tuesday. Shout out to you guys who were in the Instagram stream on last night. I appreciate y'all for joining. Sorry for the inconvenient or the abrupt end to the Instagram stream. They were hating on me. They just ended it, or it kind of got weird toward the end. But I'll still be there every Tuesday to, about 9 to 10-ish, right around that time, Eastern time, every Tuesday on Instagram. So Tuesday, Instagram, Wednesday, Saturday, YouTube. But I'm here pretty much every day putting out my pre-recorded content right on the YouTube. So giving you the long videos, short videos, whatever you want, I got it. Plus, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of that good stuff, Twitter. See me everywhere. Check me out all over the place. I got some more super chats. I think I'll read those right quick. Then I'll wrap it on up, put the bow on top. But shout out to y'all for rocking and rolling with me. Shout out to everybody for watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you do. I could not do the show without you. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well. This is also an audio streaming podcast. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether that be Google Play, Spotify, Apple iTunes, etc. Links for everything will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. this is also available on the Rumbles. All my YouTube content will be on Rumble. Check me out there. I'm easy to find. I'm verified. Just search Anthony Brian Logan, Anthony B. Logan, whatever they got me on. I'm right there. Also, what I got? Oh, Uncle ABL. Please subscribe to Uncle ABL. I put a video out the other day about Carnival Cruise, and I put another one out about a scenario. What if Dave Ramsey? I'm gonna do a few Dave Ramsey reactions because some of the Dave Ramsey reactions, some of the things people spend money on is crazy. Caleb Hammer, I think that's his name. I'm gonna do some of his reactions. I got a few things I'm gonna do over there, plus some original content over on Uncle ABL. So please subscribe to that. Links will be in the description. Sheree put it right there in the chat for you guys to click on right now. But I read super chats right here. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow on top. Thank you to Michael Crislow, who says discussions about Jeffrey Epstein or Hunter Biden always felt like a waste of time. Yeah, I can see what you mean there. I can see what you mean. Angelique Salvatore says, I miss calling in. Well, thank you for still being here with us in the chat, hanging out with us. But I'll be back live again on Saturday. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.